Let's go racing, folks, and it's a very even start from the entire field.
There's a freight train forming behind him right now. He will be as nervous as a cat in a room full of rocking chairs. I can give you the hot tip. Sideways as a bishop on a chessboard. That was incredible car control.
Oh no, and he's sent it! And he's gone down the inside, and that's a brilliant move.
Going for a bit of an ambitious dive now, and oh, there's contact! Here they come now, around the final turn on the final lap, they're side by side!
Oh, and there's contact now. Someone is going to be hitting the showers early tonight, I'll tell you what.
Crosses the line for P1. Brilliant racing. Absolutely sensational stuff.
This is heart-pounding. This is nerves-rising. This is sensational TV.
Ah, yes. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, from the narrow streets of Townsville to the dusty dunes of Motormall Wanneroo Raceway. It is time for round 8 of the series, and what a way to do it than the second half of the season being kicked off right here and right now, and it is tighter than ever in the championship, and a small mistake around here could be the difference between being a hero or being a zero. And where are we tonight? It is a brilliant little stormer of a racing circuit. A lap around this very small but complex 2.4 kilometer circuit is all about being in the flow state. It's an incredibly short run to turn 1, 150 meters to be exact, foot to the floor on the exit run up the hill. And then you will find yourself going through turns 2 and 3 and use as much curb as possible as well, because you really want to launch the car up, get the thing turned, and then get yourself ready for the next complex of corners and the quick direction change as well, going into turns 3, 4, and then back into turn number 5. Very quick direction changes there for the run back down into the hill, into the bowl, which is a fantastic opportunity to catch your opponent unawares for the dive into turn number 6. The longest time, the full throttle down the back straight, up, down, and then back up the hill for super late braking. Use that elevation to your advantage and watch the wall on the exit, because it will greet you in no time. It is going to be a ripper night of racing. It's such a busy lap, such a busy circuit, and there are 3 action-packed races coming right here, all live tonight on Sensational TV. Do not go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, because we're in the closing stages now of this practice session, and it's currently being led here by Zach O'Reilly in the number 135 Camaro, and it is absolutely flying out there in the minute. You can see it is going all over here as well. You can see 7/100ths of a second up at the moment as we flick on through. He's on the super soft tire, and here we go. We're really seeing the gaps as they pop on through. 15 thousandths of a second it is actually between the drivers at the moment in this session. Super close, and expect it to get even closer up and down the field. 0.6 of a second separate your top 4. It is going to be a awesome night of racing around here, and I am Peter Clark, your commentator for this evening, and it is a pleasure to be here to talk you through this one. It is going to be, as I keep saying, it's going to be a ripper evening of racing, as it always is here for the Misfits Sim Racing League, brought to you by NMAX Services. So let's keep an eye on this one. It's going to be, I'm going to say it again, a barnstormer of an evening here. We'll get ready for this, as we can now see Zach O'Reilly lapping around, but it's only this driver here, Lee Crowther, who's so close behind, and so close is the championship as well, as we go into that one as well. So here we go. This is how the championship lines up. It's Adam Betts leading the way, because now we're in the second half of the season. We have got ourselves the drop rounds added in. The drivers get 3 drop rounds here, so it is going to be crucial for them to really dial in everything they've got in this championship now. Adam Betts leads the way on 888 points, and he's only got 2 points over Zach O'Reilly, who is currently fastest in the practice session. Lee Crowther, Andre Elliott, they're super close as well. 7 points separate those 2 drivers. Dean Hanley's only 6 points further behind, and then Jason McFadden rounds out your top 6 here. 72 points separates your top 6. It is as close as it gets. Then you got Hayden Cook, Sean North, Hayden Wallace, and Mason Kurtz to round out the top 10. And then just missing out by 3 points of being inside the top 10, Dean Johnson, Jacob Kelly, Luke McCulloch, Dion Clerk, and Wesley Harrier. And then we go into outside the top 15. You've got yourself here Bill Cosmarakis, who is currently 4th in the session, Lachlan Grant, Connor Mitchell, Alan Poole, Richard King, Clayton Waters, Heath Langley, Stephen Harrison, Jonathan Mitchell, Bailey Doble, Bazza Webb, Liam Hanley, Cooper Shipley, Ezra Simons, and Sam Isaac. And what a list of drivers that is here in this session, and it is still cracking along here. They've only got a couple of minutes left of this session to go. And speaking of, how about we take a look at the calendar, because we've still got plenty of racing coming up here. We're right now at Motormall Raceway here in Wanneroo of Perth. Then we go to Queensland Raceway for the final race before we go into Enduro mode, and that will be at the Bend, and then followed by Bathurst. 2 wicked weekends of racing coming up there. Surfers Paradise on October 30th, Sandown, and then to finish off the season on the Adelaide Street Circuit, an absolute classic amongst the Supercars calendar, and that is going to be a wicked round of racing. And speaking of, be sure to tune in for the next round of racing, round 9 at Queensland Raceway. A few of these drivers really love this place, and they will be looking to really do well around there as we continue on here, because here's Lee Crowther, 2nd in the session. Zachariah, while we were looking at all of that, has been able to put in a better lap time, so he's now been able to pull it out to 24 thousandths of a second at the moment. So could this be a O'Reilly versus Crowther around here for this Perth meeting? It is going to be a wicked one to keep your eye on. And we're going to go to a very quick ad break here, because the practice session is just about done. And then after this will be the qualifying session. Do not go anywhere. It is going to be a ripper.
Motto is that safe drivers are lifesavers. If your organisation shares this belief and are planning to improve driver education in your community, SDT Simulator Driver Training has the solution. Many of our simulator users are also gaining a revenue stream by taking their simulators to events and schools for driver education programs. The system can also be set up to run motorsport simulation. Many leading racing drivers are now using simulators to improve their skills. Such software can also be used to show drivers they are not as skilled as they think they are. SDT Simulator Driver Training is a division of Safe Drive Training, one of Asia Pacific's leading driver training providers. We offer affordable driving simulators that are assembled in our Brisbane head office. SDT simulators are now in use across Australia and are expanding into international markets due to their affordable price, unique features, and customization for driver training. Depending on the simulator model being purchased, you will receive a range of training resources to help you to facilitate quality driver education. SDT is the exclusive distributor of Fatal Vision alcohol impairment goggles, marijuana simulation goggles, and drowsy and distracted blinking goggles. All are used to demonstrate the dangers of such impairments on the driver. Also available are driver training posters, driving handbooks, and distracted driving resources. Our simulators make the perfect training tool for drivers to experience how various impairments affect their performance. Contact Simulator Driver Training for more information.
Welcome back, and we are ready here for this qualifying session. And it's going to be Dean Hanley here to set us off here on this session. So let's ride on board with him here as he sets the pace on his out lap. So this will be his first flying lap now as we get ready for this one. And it is through turn number 1 is the way to go, and then through turns 2 and 3, use the curb to try and get the car turned a little bit, and then it is off around turn number 4. It's really long, this one. You got to be patient on the throttle, quick direction change, and then it is going to be all about getting yourself now a good run down the line here and into this turn 6. It's also known as the bowl, so it is going to be crucial you get this one done, because on the exit here you can see he's got a little bit of the slipstream advantage right in front of him. And then once you get that one done, you can use the downhill braking here. And then it goes to uphill braking to really get yourself up into a perfect position here to get a lap in. Use the exit curve. Be careful though not to use too much of it, because it will upset the car. And then look at this, a 53 flat. So that is a pretty good lap time immediately off the bat there for Dean Hanley to get himself ready. The second lap though is already being halted though, because he's stuck right behind Bill Cosmarakis. And you can see there he's already backed out of it. Zach O'Reilly on his first flying lap here, only a 10th behind, so it's also close at the moment out in front, but it's Hanley to throw the first blow here in the qualifying session. And we've still got plenty of drivers still yet to cross the line. Here we go. Hayden Cook crosses the line, puts himself up into 9th position on his outlap. So plenty of outlaps at the moment, proving to have pace. Dean Johnson, though, in the pit lane now. He's 1 second behind, but Dean Hanley will be the next one to cross the start-finish line. As now Lee Crowther puts it up into 1st position. He puts his Mustang on the provisional pole position here with 3/10 in the clear. He is flying on his first flying lap here. Does Dean Hanley have 3/10 of a second in the hand here and to be able to eclipse that? The answer is no. He can't even improve on his previous lap. Well, obviously he can't. We saw him pull out of it at the very beginning, as I now very rightly remember. And then Zach O'Reilly, though, he also goes faster, but he got a track limits on that last one, so he's going to have to be careful about that. Figure out where he caught the track limits, make sure he doesn't repeat the mistake, and get himself well and truly up the field here. Riding on board here, he's a real crafty driver is Zach O'Reilly. He's got plenty of things in the handbook, because there's a car right on the apex. It looks like it was the Mustang there of Bill Cosmarakis, nearly getting in the way there of Zach O'Reilly as he heads on through the bowl. Crowther goes fastest once again. It's now 52.6 for himself. How is this one going to play out for himself? It is going to be a ripper of a little event here. Is he going to be able to cross the line, go into provisional P1? He goes extremely wide all the way around the outside of the curbing and gets his lap time invalidated again, but he goes purple in the final sector, so there's plenty of lap time at the moment on board that machine. Lee Crowther, though, is still the man to beat. He has got 2/10 of a second in hand, because Hanley was able to improve the last time around. He's closed the gap just a little bit. It's now half a second is separating your top 3 here in this qualifying session, as looks like it was possibly Johnson there in the background, just getting off the circuit and just making sure he's not getting in the way of anyone's lap times as they come down that big long back straight. And right in front of him is a Red Bull Camaro for Lee Crowther. That may hinder his exit there just slightly, and it does, because he pulls it straight to the pit lane for Lee Crowther. He's not having any part of that. That's now Adam Betts throws it up into position number 2. Your championship leader is now putting himself into the party, only a 10th behind Lee Crowther, your current pole position leader. Dean Hanley will cross the line here to go up into position number 2 and take that one away. Zach Riley now finds himself all the way up into provisional pole position. He's found some lap time. We saw him go purple in the final sector just on his previous lap, but he got the track limits cut. This time around, he's been able to get it done clean. No track limits, and that is what he was capable of. He had 3/10 of a second in hand, and he's gone purple once again in the first sector. He's gone purple again, and he's using all the track to his advantage on the exit of turn number 5, putting it into the grass, and now big braking zone. The brake discs are glowing on board his Camaro, using all of the track on the exit as well. And now the long run down the back straightaway, up the hill, down the hill, get up some top speed here while you're going down the hill, and brake as late as you can as it switches back up the hill. It's almost like the roller coaster from Sydney Olympic Park all those years ago. And now he'll cross the line and go. Not quite as fast this time around. He misses out by 300ths of a second to eclipse his best lap time as Lee Crowther. He's still trying to find his way out back onto the front, out in front of this field. Unfortunately for himself, though, caught up in a little bit of traffic here. It's going to be all about getting the clean air. And that is going to be the name of the game with such a small track that is. It's very, very small, 2.4 kilometers, the shortest one that we've been to so far this season off the top of my head. And he is using every bit of that 600 horsepower he's got. He's actually backed out of it as well, so he hasn't been able to find anything. Dean Handley, he's got a heap of greys at the moment in the micro sectors, so he'll be looking to try and improve by the hundredths of the second. He's 0.4 of a second away, but only 0.04 of a second away is Adam Betts in his Optus Mustang, and he has not seen the top step of the podium since the final race at Simmons Plains in round 5, so it's been a little bit of a while for him to be able to find some form here, and he is looking pretty good at the moment, sitting position number 4, because the last 2 rounds has been the Zach O'Reilly show, clean sweeping both races and both pole positions, claiming maximum points from Hidden Valley and Townsville. And at Townsville, where we saw that thrilling finish, that thrilling battle between O'Reilly and Lee Crowther, who currently sit first and second as well. That was a nail-biter of a first race down at Townsville. What can Adam Betts do on this lap at the moment? He is improving. He does have little green micro sectors at the minute, and he's locked the rears going into the final corner, and there goes that lap, and also this lap as well. So very rightly throws it back to the pit lane. Zach O'Reilly, he's currently on his out lap, on a flying lap actually, and he is now looking to try and improve his lap time here. Can he extend it from a 0.3 of a second gap? No, he can't. He's short by a couple of tenths of a second that time around, probably hindered by a little bit of traffic there, as he's now still ahead of Lee Crowther. Dean Handley sits third. Ezra Simons just popped himself now up into third position in his Camaro, and he now looks to try and improve his position as well. 54.1, very respectable lap time from himself. And, you know, if we compare it to what they do in real life, it's a very good lap times at the moment. Currently, it's a 52.3 for the pole position. In real life, as we know, on a set of courses, you typically can go a little bit faster than what the real life guys do on this simulator. And the fastest race lap set by any generation of the V8 Supercar, it was a 53.7 set by James Courtney back in a Holden ZB Commodore in 2019 during the Perth Super Night at the time. And for a qualifying lap around here, the fastest lap time we've seen is from a Gen 3. It's a 53.6 set by Brock Feeney in his Mustang just this year, this time gone, that the Supercars were in town. And at the moment, you can see they were well and truly over a second away from those real life lap times. So the intensity out there is cooking a big time for these drivers. The top 8 separated by just a second. It is insanely close out there in the minute. Lee Crowther, though, he's still looking to try and get it done. You can see the throttle blips there on the telemetry. He's really pushing the car as much as possible, using all of the exit curb available to him, getting a little bit of airtime as well underneath those wheels. And he just grabbed the entry curve there as well, going into turn number 1, and you can see that really unsettled the car. So he's immediately thrown it back to the pit lane. They're throwing some fresh rubber. Dean Handley wasn't liking that lap. Adam Betts currently sitting in 4th position. He also only has 0.04 of a second to find, so he's really looking to try and put that number 1 machine better than the second row of the grid. He's currently on that second row in position number 4, but he'll want to try and get it done a little bit nicer. Dion Clarkson 5th, Mason Kurtz, Bill Kosmarakis, Sean North, as Dean Handley is registering as off course, but he's just going slow in the pit lane to let everyone go through to make sure he gets plenty of clear track. And that will be crucial for himself to be able to get that clean track. Sean North in 8th, Jason McFadden in 9th, Ezra Simons in position number 10, Connor Johnson, Wesley Harriet, Hayden Cook, McCulloch, and Sorban round out our field of 16 so far here tonight. So it is going to be a big night of racing. Three races to come up. And speaking of the format, let's have a quick talk about the format, because race 1 is going to be 20 laps. They don't have to do any pit stops, but they do have to use the soft compound tires, which will be fascinating to see how those ones go about their business. And then race 2 will be 20 laps once more, no compulsory pit stop, and they can use any tire they want, and it's going to be a reverse top 12 grid as well. So we're going to have to see those drivers from out in front really carve their way through the field to get that one done. And then the final race, the feature race here tonight, a massive 50 laps around this circuit. There is going to be a compulsory pit stop. They have to get that one done between lap 1 and 45 as Dean Johnson goes for a little bit of a spin there at turn number 6. The pit window, is lap 1 to 45, so they've got ample time to get their pit stop done, but they must use both the super soft and the soft compound tire. So plenty of strategy, and expect a mixed strategy as well. I've heard a little bit of chatter from a couple of the drivers up and down the field about their testing and tuning that they've done leading up to this event, about how the tyres are behaving here at Wanneroo Raceway, and it's about 25 laps they reckon you're going to get out of the super soft tyre before it hits a cliff. And when it hits a cliff, they reckon it's not going to take very long at all. They reckon it's only going to be, if you break half a metre or so, from what I've been told, too late, the car is going sailing off. There is just going to be no grip out there whatsoever. As now Adam Betts, he's just thrown himself up into second position while we're talking about the race format. So he's on the improvement train at the moment. Can he improve once again? No, he's a little bit off this time around. Had to deal with a little bit of traffic that lap though. So he's really finding it. So championship positions 1 and 2 are currently sitting 1 and 2 on the qualifying grid so far. So we are gearing up for a really spicy first race coming up. Not too far away. 2.5 minutes left in this qualifying session, so it's go time. But luckily, with such a short lap here, they have got plenty of time to still get themselves set up here for a final flying lap, and they can really optimize that opportunity, go right out towards the end of the session here, and try and get that one done. Zach O'Reilly's already called it quits. He's left the session, which now promotes Adam Betts up to position number 1, but the pole position will still go to Zach O'Reilly as it stands here with 2 minutes left in the session. So Adam Betts, does he improve it? He does improve to a 52.4, so he's still not too far away from what O'Reilly's been able to do. And there we go, O'Reilly's actually rejoined the session now, so he's back to position number 1. Betts will have to relinquish P1 for the moment on the timing standings, but Lee Crowther held that position number 1 for so long in this session. Does he have anything else? No, he's given up on that lap as well and pulled it back to the pit lane. Dean Handley now looking to try and improve his lap time. He can't do it this time around. He's currently got grayed out micros all across the board on his lap time there. Still sitting in position number 4, and coming into this round sitting pretty handsomely in the championship as well. Position number 5 he is, 56 points adrift. Only 6 points adrift of getting himself up into 4th if he dispatches Andre Elliott, who also at this moment in time has not been showing on the timing, as unfortunately he's got a little bit of an injury, which is resulting in the simulator work having to come to a halt for the moment. So I'm sure he's absolutely livid with that, knowing that he can't improve his championship position, because now the drop rounds have been added in. It is getting so spicy in this championship standings. It's 1.5 tenths at the moment, rounding out your top 2, 2.5 tenths your top 3, 4 tenths to the millisecond between your top 4. So it is going to be a very close one. That's Dean Handley's session done. What can Zach O'Reilly do? Because when he crosses the start finish line here, that is going to be his final flying lap that he's going to get, and he does have Lee Crowther, your Birdman, right in front of him as well. So if he doesn't get held up through this section of the circuit, he could get a little bit of an advantage here, or some slipstream down the back straight, but I'm sure Crowther will be wise to that and will try to make sure that he does not give O'Reilly any of that. But at the same time, Crowther might be on an absolute stormer of a lap and won't want to give that one up, because he could give himself the opportunity to go really quick here, as Dion Clerks had an issue here at turn number 6. So that's exactly where these two guys that we've been watching are coming up to now. So he's going to have to stay well out of the way. It looks like he's gone for a spin on the exit there of turn number 6, and it's now the checkered flag does drop here. Zach O'Reilly will be the one of the first drivers to cross the start finish line to end this session. Lee Crowther goes on through just in front of him. Does Crowther make a... No, he pulls off into the pit lane, so his session is done. And did O'Reilly find anything in the depth of that? No, he doesn't. He doesn't improve on his final flying lap. It's a 52.320 for himself to round out this session. Can Adam Betts do anything? He's got a green micro sector, so there is some improvement on this lap time. Isn't enough to promote him up into position number 1. He's going to have a massive final sector here, and turn 6 is probably the best that we've seen him go through there. Look at the micro sectors kicking off. He is doing quite well at the moment in this final sector. He just has to nail the exit here, use the exit curb. Does he improve his lap time? It's going to be no. He does not improve his lap time, and that is going to be all for this qualifying session, as Hayden Cook also crosses the start finish line to take the flag. Your pole position goes to Zach O'Reilly here aboard his 135 Camaro, a 52.3 to take the pole position ahead of Adam Betts and Lee Crowther. It is going to be one entertaining sprint race coming up next. 20 laps of goodness around Wanneroo Raceway. Do not go anywhere.
Motorsport isn't just a hobby, it's a lifestyle. And when performance matters, you need gear you can trust. That's where ARD Importing comes in. ARD Importing brings world-class racing brands straight to New Zealand, supplying real racers, real teams, and real enthusiasts with proven performance products around the globe. We're talking JRP racing components, Zamp helmets and safety gear you can rely on the track, Red Cat Racing for high-performance RC action, and intimate brake pads for serious stopping power when it counts most. Keep your engine protected with renewable lubricants, premium oils designed for extreme performance and durability. Turn up the volume with wicked audio, delivering powerful sound whenever the road or track takes you. And gear up with Spartan products built for durability, comfort, and race day durability. Whether you're racing dirt, asphalt, or chasing lap times from home, ARD Importing has you covered. Sim racers as well, listen up, ladies and gentlemen, because ARD New Zealand is your importing source for all of Camus Racing sim gear. Precision wheels, professional grade pedals, immersive feedback that puts you right in the driver's seat. Train harder, race smarter, and feel every corner. From real-world racing to the virtual grid, ardimporting.co.New Zealand connects you with elite brands trusted by racers worldwide.
Yes, welcome back. It is just about time to go racing here for the first of 3 races here for Wanneroo Raceway. It's round 8 of the championship. It is going to be a big night of racing. 90 laps of racing involved here tonight. Just about 100 laps involved tonight for tonight's standings in the racing department. And it is Zach O'Reilly off the pole position ahead of championship leader Adam Betts currently sitting in position number 2, championship leader by only 2 points ahead of Zach O'Reilly, who got the pole position. So it is also close between those two. Lee Crowther was looking good for a pole position. Unfortunately, got pipped by those two drivers just in front of him. He lines up on position number 3 ahead of Dean Hanley, who also is well and truly in the championship hunt in this one as well. Dion Clerk in 5th position. Mason Kurtz in number 6 in the Flipside Mustang. Sean North in position number 7, Bill Kosmarakis in 8th, Jason McFadden in 9th, and Ezra Simons rounds out your top 10 here as we get ready for a race start. This is going to be chaos. It's going to be tight. It's going to be fast. It's going to be very busy around here as we get ready to go racing at Wanneroo Raceway, and we are off, and it's a very, very even start between these two drivers, and let's take a look at how it goes. O'Reilly tries to go around the outside, but Crowther shoves it up the inside here as they go on through racing here. Dion Clerk hangs it around the outside of Hanley. Hey, can he get this one done as they continue to go side by side in front? And let's see how it goes, because it is going to be also close between O'Reilly and Crowther. They continue the bang doors. O'Reilly's just going to get ahead, and that will allow him to take that second position. But it's Adam Betts who goes on through. Here comes Dean Hanley. He's going to try and get the move done here on Lee Crowther as well. Catch him napping down into the bowl. They go side by side now. Up and through, now onto the back straightaway, and they'll continue to go side drafting off each other. Hanley will slip back into the slipstream here from Lee Crowther and see if he can't now move it around the outside. Lee Crowther covers though. There's a little bit of a bump there, and that's going to send Crowther off and wide. Hanley's going to readdress it. He's going to let that one go, which now means that Lee Crowther is going to have to try and defend this position from Dean Hanley, who is really applying the pressure big time. That big blue Camaro filling up the mirrors as much as he can, and for Crowther it is been what could have been start. He was battling it out, nearly got himself up into that second position. In the end, wasn't able to get it done as the battling continues here. Ezra Simons now getting himself from position number 10 on the grid up into 9th. He's dispatched Jason McFadden, who drops now down to position number 10. The battling's continuing up ahead as well, because Dion Clerk's been able to get himself ahead of Dean Hanley, who is fallen down the field. So he's now dropped not 1 but 2 positions. McFadden has now gone off the road. He's in the gravel trap here at turn number 6, and that has been terrible for himself. He's going to fall down to position number 14, and so this has not gone well for himself. Hanley's still trying to get himself back through the field here. He'll go down the inside of Mason Kurtz, a podium getter in the Hidden Valley, so he's on a really good run of form here as the battling continues on behind. It looks like Sean North's trying to send it down the inside at turn number 1. It's Mustang versus Mustang as now the Camaro drives off into the distance here. Now continue to try and fling it around side by side as we ride on board here with the rain yard driver down the inside now at turn number 4. He'll give him the right away as they get to the direction change here at turn number 5, and that is how you go racing at Wanneroo Raceway in Barbagallo. And Mason Kurtz will get that position away from Sean North. He moves up into position number 6 there. North really good on the brakes there going into the bowl, and was nearly able to get to the rear end there of Kurtz and really start applying the pressure once again. But now there's a little bit of a freight train forming up behind Kurtz as they battle it along, and it's now Kurtz leading the way of North, Kosmarakis and Ezra Simon. So this little four-way train is sure to spice things up here in this race. And what is also going to look pretty good now is Dean Hanley trying to apply the pressure to Dion Clerk. He's going to hang it around the outside of the Toyota Supra, of the Speed Nation car, and will give him the inside here, but he gets the door slammed shut into his face, and he's going to have to now sit in behind and wait for the next opportunity to arise, and that opportunity will probably be turn number 6 if he gets the good run out of here. Right up behind, but he gets it on the big slide there. You saw the car behavior. The thing spat out sideways. He wasn't able to then carry the momentum to send it down the inside here at turn number 6, and he will be absolutely filthy with that one because he knows that was a missed opportunity to try and then catch up to the back of Lee Crowther, because those top 3 are starting to close the gap a little bit. You can see them going through the final corner at the top of your screen now as we go through the final corner on board with Hanley here, and he's now got a super good run coming out the final corner. Lee Crowther setting the pace here early on into this race. He'll move to the inside. Hanley to the inside of Dion Clerk here. Move done and dusted. Does Clerk, though, have anything on the corner exit to respond? No, he doesn't, and he'll have to relinquish that position number 4 and drop back into 5th. And that was a very good complex of corners for Hanley. And now he can put the hammer down, try and focus on catching up to the back of Lee Crowther. But because of that mistake and because of losing those 2 positions, that now means that he has dropped 3 seconds to the back of those top 3. Those top 3 of Adam Betts, Zach O'Reilly, and Lee Crowther sit 1, 2, 3, 9 tenths, and then 8 tenths of a second separating those 2 drivers. And this is how they line astern. Look at that, going through the final corner. And this is the gap now that Hanley has to build up, and this is the train of cars that follow on through as well. It's Hanley, Clerk, Kurtz, Sean North, Kosmarakis, and Ezra Simons to round out that group of drivers. Lee Crowther, though, really applying the pace at the moment. He is riding on board with him early on in the qualifying session, was proving where he can get the lap time out of this thing. It just wasn't enough to get that pole position. He now sits in position number 3. He's dropped to the back a little bit of Zach O'Reilly, and though he still has the fastest lap of the race, so he's going to be looking to try and close that gap. But O'Reilly makes a huge mistake up ahead. We're on board for it as well. You can see the rear end of the car got all squiggly on him, and he only just saved it from not going out of into the dust here in Perth, and he's now lost a heap of time. It's now dropped down to over a second between himself and Adam Betts. Is now Jason McFadden after his journey into the dust just here at turn number 6. He now finds himself on the comeback through the field, has been able to get himself from 14th now up into position number 11, and he's just been able to dispatch there Connor there in the Camaro, and he'll get another position as McCulloch goes off the track in his Toyota Supra, so that's a freebie. And now he's back up in position number 10, which was the position from memory where he went off as well. So he's going to be really looking to bring himself back into this one and try and catch up to the back of Ezra Simons. But with how quickly these lap times are falling away, we're already on to lap number 7 of 20 here, ladies and gentlemen. With how quickly these laps are flying on through, it's probably not going to be too long until we're thinking about the checkered flag here. And for Ezra, that's good news for him, because Jason McFadden, who's on a charge, still has to find another 9 seconds, as now Adam Betts has been able to respond for the first time this race in the lap time department and get himself the fastest lap of the race of 53.4, so we're just about where we expect them to be in the race pace. Because if we talk back to what I was talking about in the qualifying session, when we compare these guys to what they do in real life, the fastest race lap is a 53.7, and so we're like 0.3 of a second faster than what they do in the real life races, which is testament to how good these drivers are and just how consistent they are able to drive these cars as well. They're consistently lapping themselves very, very nicely here in this race, and that has resulted in Adam Betts being able to drive away by 1.3 seconds, and you can just really see how much of a difference that makes for himself, because as they go through the final corner, that's how much they've spread out now. Lee Craft has been able to close the gap just a little bit, though, to the back of Zach O'Reilly. And for Dean Handley, he hasn't been able to really make the indent into Crowther that we probably would have thought. He's probably spent a little bit too long, unfortunately, stuck behind the likes of Clerk and Mason Kurtz, trying to get those positions back, and has probably cooked those front tyres just a little bit with all the hot and dirty fumes that come off of these cars. And it will be a case of just trying to make it to the end on those tyres. And these soft compound tyres we've seen throughout the series are not the preferred tyre to be on as well. So these drivers will be absolutely just trying to look after their tyres and make sure that they can get to the end of this 20-lap sprint, because we've seen previously, even at the likes of just the last round in Townsville, they did just about as long as they can on the super soft compound tyres, and then stopping on the last lap of the pit window to then switch it over to the soft compound tyres, because that's how good the super softs are here on the V8 supercars in the Gen 3 machine. So I keep an eye on the strategy when we go into the longer 50 lap here, the feature race number 3 tonight, as it's getting very spicy in the background as well, because Sorben here is being haunted by Dean Johnson. You can see how close that Camaro is getting up to the back of the Red Bull machine, and you'll be wanting to see that checkered flag come as quickly as possible, because in position number 15, he has got a big battle here to hold on to this 15th. He goes super defensive, and he's actually letting Johnson go on through. So something we've missed in this battle here, which means that Johnson's going to go on through, take that 15th position away, and Sorben will drop to 16th here in this race. But Back here to Mason Kurtz, the flip side Mustang. He is looking to try and apply the pressure to Dion Clerk, who's actually absorbing it up pretty nicely as well at the moment, 0.6 of a second. These guys have been lapping extremely close to each other. They've just been hounding the back of each other and just allowing the pressure to build. One of these guys would eventually come to make a mistake here. You would expect. We see it plenty in the real life racing, and we see it plenty in simulator racing as well. All you have to do is just apply the pressure for long enough, and you can well and truly get yourself into a position to try and make a move. You can see Dion there actually using plenty of extra road. He travels right around the outside there of turn number 4 to open up turn number 5, give him the best run down into turn number 6. And that's what allows him to pretty much go on through there scot-free. And in the background on the mirror there, you can see Sean North has made a mistake. He's dropped back now. He's over a second away from the back of Mason Kurtz. And he had a bit of a wobble there going into the bowl there, and drifted out wide, had to wait until he could get back onto the throttle, which really hurt his progress on the exit there, and has allowed Kurtz to just drive away. And now Kurtz can start putting the focus back out in front and apply the pressure to Dion Clark. Now he doesn't have to worry so much in the mirror of his flipside Mustang. But what is worrying for Adam Betts now is Zach O'Reilly is right there behind. He's really closing the gap now. It's go time for O'Reilly. He knows that in these last few laps, he's been saving the tyres. He's been far enough back that he doesn't have to worry about the dirty air and overheating the tyres, so he can really just put the foot down now. And he's got that gap for the first time in some time to under a second now. We saw it just a moment ago at some points as well, to less than 0.7 of a second. So he's really flying out there. At the moment is O'Reilly in his Camaro. So it's going to be Camaro versus Mustang in the first round of the season. Think back to Sydney Motorsport Park, all the way back in I'm trying to remember where it was some time ago though, and it was a fantastic battle between Betts and O'Reilly on the final lap. It was a final lap dive that in the end resulted in contact, and it was O'Reilly that to take the win, but then Betts was able to respond in race number 2 and take that one as the lap car gets in the way there of O'Reilly, and he will be filthy with that. It has been a giant talking point in the MSR group here about the blue flag situations, because we have had a few incidents so far this season where the blue flaggers have hindered the race leaders, and I am sure that one's going to get looked at there. It was Sorben right on the apex there of turn number 5, and the only way O'Reilly could go around him was by going into the grass, and that has meant what was less than a second is now nearly out to 2 seconds of a gap between himself and Betts. And I am sure he had a grand scheme of things for O'Reilly of how he was planning that race. He knew exactly how much lap time he had to take out of Betts each lap for him to line up a move in the final couple of laps. And unfortunately for him, that has resulted now in that being hindered away. You can definitely tell he's driving with a red mist, because the gap is already down to 1.5 seconds. So he is driving his heart out at the moment. Absolutely filthy with the incident that has just occurred there. And he will be definitely screaming that one to the racing stewards at the end of this round. But for Dion Clerk, he's still absorbing this pressure like an absolute sponge here. And you can see now the mistakes are starting to creep onto Mason Kurtz here, who we see get the wobbles going as he was exiting turn number 4, then halted his turn number 5 progress, which now means that Clerk is once again free of any overtakes, as now they go by the Red Bull machine of Sorben in position number 16. And for Mason Kurtz, he'll just get that move done into the braking zone, but he's made the mistake and he's gone super wide, has Kurtz, and so that's going to really now allow Clerk to just drive away. The gap between those two drivers now over a second between the two, so that was extremely costly. In fact, it's 1.5 seconds between the two of them. So that is a mistake that could very well end his charge to try and get himself up into position number 5. And for Wesley Harry, oh no, he's found himself in the gravel as well. So this is the second car we've now seen get down into the gravel trap there at the bowl. And so for himself, he's going to lose out here. And he is now down to position number 15. So what was looking like a solid drive for himself in the Toll Holden machine has now dropped the 15th. He's lost the battle that he was going to have with Dean Johnson. And for Mason Kurtz, he's also now made another mistake. We saw him just last lap make a mistake, and then another mistake at the final corner, and the big one now happens at turn number 6, where he's now not only losing out on position number 5, but having an opportunity to try and attack that one. You're now fall from position number 6 to 10. So that's going to be a huge swing in the points. And for a driver that came into this 10th in the standings, that is a massive implications of that one as well. And he's also going to let Connor go on through as well. So in fact, he's going to fall outside of your top 10 here. And is he going to pull it into the pit lane as well? Because he's looking like he's struggling a little bit at the moment, but he's probably just trying to get those tires reheated a little bit there, get the dust off them as well, and just get the thing driving straight again. But Ezra Simons is looking really pacey now. It's really kicking off here in the final stages of this race, and out in front as well, it's really kicking off. I said Zach O'Reilly's probably driving with a little bit of the red mist ascending. Exactly what's happened. He's now pulled that back out from nearly 2 seconds now down to only a second on that last lap, 0.3 of a second quicker as well. So he is really applying the pressure. Watch the gap out in front. Watch that tumble down with O'Reilly trying to make a really late race charge after being hindered by the lap car. Simons, though, he is still hounding the back of Bill Kosmarakis, who has been quite fast all season long in his Shell V-Power Mustang here. And for Ezra Simons, he's a little bit incognito at the moment in the all-white machine, and he is looking to get himself now up into position number 6. But to do, though, he's going to have to get rid of that 0.6 of a second deficit that currently sits between himself and Bill Kosmarakis. And so is he going to get that one done? Those are questions that will have to get answered later on into this race, as now there's an incident for a car up ahead. It's Wesley Harriott getting out the way as well of the lap cars. And coming on through as we now go into lap number 18, and that time around the lap times were just about even for your race leaders. There's only 0.02 of a second separating those two drivers as Ezra Simons is heading through into the final corner now. That was a mistake there from Kosmarakis, locked up the front wheel there. He had to take a narrow line to try and get the car stopped, so he was a little bit late on the brakes there and resulted in that mistake. And that's going to allow Ezra to now get right up to the rear end of Kosmarakis, and we can see looking over the rear wing of his machine, that Camaro is looking ever menacing, as now there's a change for the lead here. There is a change for the lead, and it's O'Reilly in front. Adam Betts has made a huge mistake, and Betts now drops into second position. O'Reilly has had the C's part for himself, call him Moses, because Adam Betts has just been able to get out of the way, and it allowed him to take the race lead now. He was talking about how lucky he got at Townsville because he didn't think he had the pace to get himself far by Lee Crowther in that first showdown at Townsville. But it was a mistake at the final corner for Lee Crowther that allowed Zach O'Reilly to go on through. And for your two championship leaders here, this is a pivotal moment in the championship. Is that a mistake from Adam Betts that means that he could lose out on winning this MSR brought to you by NMAX Services Championship? It is going to be a deadly situation when we get to the final stages on the streets of Adelaide between these two drivers who have also both used their drop rounds as well. The battle's kicking off though between Kosmarakis and Ezra. We were saying that this one was going to really kick off, and Ezra is trying to go for it, and there's a touch, and Kosmarakis goes round. Kosmarakis has spun out on the exit of turn number 4 just before turn 5. He's going to have to flick spin it back onto the road, and in fact he's just called it quits. He's gone back to the pit lane. He's not scoring anything this lap, and so let's see how Zach O'Reilly goes, because he's starting the final lap of the race now, and that means that Connor and Kurt will now be promoted up inside your top 10 here as Kosmarakis plummets down the field here. What a turn of events. That was a battle that ended up in contact between Simons and Kosmarakis, and they spun it out right here. But for O'Reilly, there's no spin. There's no wheel spin as well for his accelerated driver training Camaro. It is all to be defied for himself. He's going to head down the final back straightaway here for the first race here of 3 here at Wanneroo Raceway. What a drive he's done. He was really closing the gap down, and in the end, a mistake from Adam Betts has resulted in Zach O'Reilly to take the first blood here. He will go from pole position to the race win here in race number 1, as McFadden has gone off the racing circuit as well. He's gone off. That's his second trip off the road here, and he's going to lose out a couple of positions as well. He'll drop down to position number 9. So it's been a horrible day in the office for Jason McFadden. And then Ezra Simons, he's going to be the next across the start-finish line here in position number 6. And that is a fantastic drive from himself from position number 10 on the road. And so it's going to be O'Reilly, Betts, Crowther, your podium here. And then Dean Hanley will take position number 4. Dion Clerk, Ezra Simons, Sean North will round out inside your top 7 here. Jay Connor will take 8th position. Jason McFadden should have been 7th in the end. Left across the line for position number 9 with Mason Kurtz right behind him as well, applying the pressure on that final lap. And then it is going to be McCulloch. Hayden Cook will take position number 12. Dean Johnson, Wesley Harriet, and Sorbin round out your field as Cosmarakis is in the pits and will end the race in the pits. And there we go. That is your race 1 winner here. And it's the name of Zach O'Reilly. Takes first blood here. Pole position, race 1. Can he take race 2 and go for the clean sweep? Can he make it 3 races in a row? He goes for the clean sweep. Only time will tell as we get ready for race number 2 coming up right after this quick ad break.
Forms and expertise in getting the best gear. Sensational TV has proudly partnered up with Speed Nation. It is New Zealand's go-to destination for high-performance sim gear. They also stock the best and biggest brands in the game, from Thrustmaster, Moser Racing, Next Level Racing, Sparko, Turtle Beach, and more. And whether you're looking for the ultra-responsive racing wheels or pro-grade flight controls, immersive audio, or rock-solid cockpits, I'll tell you what, Speed Nation has got it all. They also carry other trusted names like Butt Kicker, PT Actuators, Wheel Stand Pros, Gen Ace, Spectrum in the remote control field, and also Collective Mind. So every step and part of your setup is covered, from complete racing rigs and premium flight packs. We here at Sensational TV, back in Speed Nation, to deliver the gear that takes your experience to the next level. Fast shipping, trusted brands, unbeatable quality, and I'll tell you what, Speed Nation has it all. And as an excellent gift for all of our viewers tonight and members out there of Sensational TV, and if you're trying to get into racing, go to the checkout, buy some stuff off Speed Nation, because if you buy any full-price product on the website, enter the code SIMSATIONAL, that is SIMSATIONAL. Oh my God, I can't even speak. And you will get a 10% discount off your end cart price. So go in there.
10%? 10% did you say, Zachary?
I did say 10%,
oh,
mate. I did not say
goodness.
5. I did not say 4. I said 10.
Wow.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Race 1 was a ripper. We had a very, very dramatic incident there with your race leaders where a mistake was made, and right at the end, the lead was changed, and that will play dividends in the championship standings as well. But we got to get ourselves primed and ready now for race number 2, where it's another 20-lap sprint, but now there's strategy involved. The drivers can use whatever tyre they want. It could be the soft or the super soft, and starting off the pole position will be Luke McCulloch here in the Dare Ice Coffee Toyota Supra, and then out of position, number 3, because at the moment, we actually don't have a second car on the front row of the grid, nor do we have another car on the next row of the grid either, so Jason McFadden will line up next on the road, and then it is going to be Jay Connor, Sean North, Ezra Simons, Dion Clerk, Dean Hanley, Lee Crowther, Adam Betts, and Zach O'Reilly to round out your top 10 here for this one. It is going to be a fantastic one as Hayden Cook right at the end joins the server, but he's going to have to start from the pit lane, and so that's going to be unfortunate for himself, but we're racing now. McCulloch had a very clean run off the start line, and so does Jason McFadden, because they had the grid slots next to them clean as a whistle, and now they'll have a undisrupted run into turn number 1, but it is really kicking off on behind, because if we jump on board with Lee Crowther, look at the field of cars coming on through. Hanley's really trying to force the issue to get himself further up the field. He wants to carve his way as quickly as possible through these cars and use this super soft tyre to his advantage, as there's an incident in behind because Jay Connor is dropping like a stone out of the order now, down to 14th position, so he's had an issue going through here. Lee Crowther is now trying to get himself up into 3rd position. Is he going to be able to get this one done, because he's now running just ahead of Sean North, who has got Dion Clerk for company, and Dean Hanley's going to be really loving this because it means they can't go anything, but as I say, that sends it really late on the brakes down the inside of Sean North, and up ahead you can see racing a plenty. McCulloch is all over the road. He's had an absolute mare of a final corner, and he's being swamped now because here comes Clerk down the inside. He hangs it out wide. He's on the soft compound tyre, which is not the preferred tyre in this series, and Hanley will also make his way on through. Here comes O'Reilly round the outside, and there is Sean North. He has gone barrel rolling into the fence, and now back onto the track in front of Cosmarakis and Harriet, and we've had a huge incident here at Wanneroo Raceway, and it has been all with Sean North. We went flipping, somehow ended up on his roof, bounced off the wall, and found himself in the path of oncoming traffic, and unfortunately that meant collecting other cars with it. Harriet and Cosmarakis, the other drivers involved in this one. That was a huge incident, and there's a battle for the lead now. Crowther and McFadden side by side into the final corner. Down the inside goes Crowther. He wants to take this lead away from McFadden if possible. Hanley's just made a beautiful move at the final corner, get himself up into 3rd. Zach O'Reilly has followed him through, so Clerk will drop from 3rd now, down to 5th position. And as easy as that, now O'Reilly is up into that next position of P3, and he is carving his way through the field so nicely at the moment aboard his Accelerator driver training Camaro. What a drive he is doing so far. But for McFadden, he is being hounded by Lee Crowther. He has got that Mustang all in the mirrors and filling up every single little bit of it as well for good measure. You can see the slightly different racing lines that they're taking. Crowther, he's really liking the tyres at the moment. He's been able to hold the car really narrow onto the road and try and get the throttle down as quickly as possible. And here comes O'Reilly in the background. You can see the Camaro climbing up to the back of these guys as Crowther now sends it down the inside, and he is going to make a really late but commanding move here, and that's going to open up the door for O'Reilly to come on through. McFadden climbs all over the the curbs, and gets the car all out squirrely, and that means that Zach O'Reilly can get the 2 for 1, and he'll say thank you very much, get himself up the P1, but it's not done with yet, because here comes Crowther. He wants a bit of this as well. These two were the clash of the Titans in Townsville, and they're going at it once again here for the race lead here in Perth, despite the reverse grid. They have found themselves on track together once again, but this is going to be big news for O'Reilly, because his closest competitor in the championship of Adam Betts is down in 9th position at the moment. He has not been able to carve his way through the field as nicely as any of the other drivers. Hanley and O'Reilly, the 2 big winners of the reverse grid so far, are able to jump themselves big time up the front. In fact, Lee Crowther as well, carving their way through the field. They would have been starting towards the tail end of your top 10 here, and in doing so, so they have now got themselves in prime time position and to score big points against their closest championship rivals. Zach O'Reilly, came into the round 2 points behind. He's already got the pole position. He's got the race 1 win. Now finds himself, as they go on to lap number 5, already leading the way here. He is on charge here to go for a 3rd clean sweep round in a row. He has not been off of the top step of a session since qualifying in Hidden Valley. The last time he wasn't on the top step was the final race at Sims Plains, where his championship rival of Adam Betts got the better of him and it took that one away. And that was also a round where O'Reilly was also a race winner. He took race 1 in that round and he also got the qualifying session. So he's going to be really wanting to try and capitalize on this moment in this series where his championship rival is further down the standings, still in position number 9, and he's still over a second away from Luke McCulloch, so he's not got the pace at the moment in this second one. In fact, Adam Betts, he's on the soft compound tyre, so he's gone for the alternate tyre strategy compared to pretty much majority of the rest of the field. On the super softs, only 4 drivers so far in this one are on the soft compound tyres. The rest of the field on the super softs. So a lot of drivers going for those super softs, which I've been saying are the preferred tyre in the series, and they are proving that once more because they have bolted away from any of the soft compound tyre runners. And here we go, because here comes Jay Connor, carved his way through Luke McCulloch, is now looking to try and get himself up to the back of Adam Betts. And look at this, Cosmarakis, who also is carving his way through. He's on the super softs, and despite the damage that we can see there on the front end of his machine, is flying his way through the field. And now down the inside, this is Sean North. He's looking to try and take advantage of the super softs as well against a soft compound tyre runner, and so he'll get his way to the side here of Luke McCulloch and will be trying to get the side draft going, get himself into a position to send it down the inside at the final corner. Does he have the braking capability? No, he doesn't. He's too far back this time around, but he can definitely try and use the corner exit there to his advantage and get himself in a really good position here to make the move into the next couple of corners into turn 1. Can't get it done there in the 27 machine in his Ford Mustangs. It's Mustang versus a Toyota Supra, but here we go. I think McCulloch just knew what was coming in the end and decided rather than holding him up, we'll just let him go on through. So Sean North now up into position number 11. The gap is now out to over a second between your race leaders as Sorba now comes into the pit lane in his Red Bull machine. So he's not liking his time out there at the moment. He was one of the soft compound tyre runners, and so I think he's kind of realised what's going on here. And for Adam Betts, your championship leader coming into this round, he's holding on to the back of Dean Johnson, but he does have Jay Connor starting to catch up to the back of him now. So he's got to think about what he's going to be doing here on these soft compound tyres. The tyres are a much bigger conversation than what probably was thought around this place so far, and that is coming into fruition at the moment. Adam Betts using all of the curbing there on the inside of the corner as well, and the Johnson runs it a little bit wide, and that's going to mean that the door gets open just slightly for Betts to think about in a place where he could possibly get an overtake going at the moment here on the Camaro, sitting right in front of him. Mustang versus Camaro, Johnson versus Betts, and it is going to be I'm sure, a very annoying time at the moment for Betts aboard his machine as McCulloch has gone off the circuit, and that's a very odd spot to go off. He's gone off at turn number 4. He's found his way all the way down to the big screen into the tyre barriers, and so that is not where you want to go, and this is how far off the racing circuit it is. Look at the climb up the hill that he has to make to get himself back up there, and he's feathering the throttle as well because he doesn't want to get himself spinning out onto the grass. And Adam Betts now does find his way around Dean Johnson at the final corner, up into 7th position. That's a couple of points in his hand, and unfortunately for Sorban, he's now listed as a non-finisher here in this one. So that has not gone to plan for himself in the Red Bull machine. And look at this battle in the background that we can see, because Jay Connor, he hasn't been able to kick away like he probably thought he could, and he, at the moment now leads a train of Cosmarakis and Sean North. So 2 drivers that are on the recovery after the rollover that we saw early on in this race, and they are carving their way through. They're currently in position number 10 and 11th in the field for Cosmarakis and North, and they'll be looking to try and dispatch Jay Connor as quickly as possible, because by the looks of it, they might just have the pace at the moment to get themselves onto the back of Adam Betts if possible, and also try and get themselves to the back of Dean Johnson, because I'm sure they know that Betts at the moment is on the soft compound tyres. Down the inside goes Cosmarakis. Is the move going to get completed here? Yes, it does. Jay Connor drops down position into position number 10 at the moment for his Camaro, and he's now in a bit of a Mustang sandwich. As in the background you can see North trying to use alternate racing lines as much as he can, and he's going to get that one lined up as soon as possible is North. Connor, though, not looking to let this one go as quickly as possible, because Maracas hasn't been able to just drive away. And there we go, you can see a little bit of throttle application and got the car into a bit of wheel spin there, and now he's lost that crucial ground where he could have tried to send a move back up the inside here at turn number 6, the bowl of the circuit. And in the end, Cosmaracas now has opportunity to drive away, catch Dean Johnson. He's got 4 seconds to do so if he would like to, and that will be a massive for his championship for Cosmaracas as well, because unfortunately he had such a good start to the season, but a run of bad results for him has meant that he has now fallen outside of your top 10 in the championship standings, which has definitely not gone to the plan that he was probably thinking of. He would have been expecting himself to be inside the top 10. He's had fantastic pace all season. For Ezra Simons, this was a battle that we saw, unfortunately, not end very well between these two drivers, and they are back at it once again here. So this will be something to keep an eye on. You can see how unstable the Supra was there going into the braking zone, and now out on the exit of the corner as well, using every little bit that is possible. And he'll be looking to try and make a move down the inside if he's able to, and he'll use the braking, the uphill braking. Can't get it done through the last corner, but look at that, he's going really tight there as he gets all over the curbing, and he copped a big heap of wheel spin, and that's going to be the end of that one just for now. Ezra Simons absorbing the pressure like we see all the time. He's such a good defensive driver, and this time around he is able to allow the pressure to get thrown the other way to Dion Clerk to try and make the move stick. And as we're now past the halfway race distance, this is how the field spreads out at the moment. Zach O'Reilly leading the way in position number 1 for the 135. Now your championship leader with that as well. And this is how the field stands at the moment. O'Reilly will go on through. Next is Lee Crowther, then is Dean Hanley, and that is your top 3 at the moment. Currently a spread of 5 seconds between those 3 drivers. Jason McFadden in 4th position. And then it is a huge 8 seconds until we find this battle that we were just watching before, Ezra Simons and Dion Clerk going at it once more. Then it's Adam Betts, Dean Johnson in position number 8. Bill Cosmaracas is next, leading this train of Connor and North for 9, 10, and 11. Hayden Cook is next to see us through as he goes on through in position number 12, and then it's another 4 seconds back until we find ourselves with Wesley, well, we're getting into the lap cars actually, so that's Mason Kurtz going on through. So the field is already jumbled up a bit here at the moment, and for Dion Clerk, he is still hounding the back there of Ezra Simons and wanting to get that one done. He has been looking at the rear end of that Camaro for some time now and would love for an opportunity to get on through. Would Dion Clerk. He's got a green first sector on this lap, so the pace is still very much there on those super soft tyres. And now with drivers that are coming into the pit lane and switching out tyres, realising the soft compound is not the way to go, we now are down from 4 runners on the soft compound tyres to only 2, which I think is a testament to which tyres are preferred at the moment in this race. And in fact, in the season has really proven that the super softs are the ones that you want to be on. Most notably, we've seen some drivers that really struggle on the soft compound tyres, and it really throws away their races. And now Sean North has finally been able to get by Jay Connor here in position at number 10. So that move has been coming for some time now, and finally gets it done into turn number 1 and can focus on driving away from this Camaro and really put the focus back onto Bill Cosmaracas, who's now been able to fly away 1.5 seconds up the road. For Cosmaracas hasn't been able to put that indent onto Dean Johnson as we probably thought would happen. It's still 4 seconds between those 2 drivers, so we'll keep an eye on that gap and see if maybe Cosmaracas has a little bit more up the sleeve, because it's now, as I've been talking about, at 3.6 seconds, 3.5 seconds in fact. So commentator always talking about how this one's going to go, and now Dion Clark has also been able to get himself up into 5th position, so he's finally got himself by Ezra Simons. We're just talking about how he's really good at absorbing the pressure here and switching the pressure to go on back, as now McCulloch has had an incident and is off the road at the final corner. We've seen plenty of cars get all taily and really struggle at that final corner. That curb is really upsetting them, and now finds himself down in the 15th position, the last of the runners at the moment for himself. And away from any possible battling now with Mason Kurtz, but he's got to be careful because your race leader of O'Reilly is now sitting just behind in P1, so he's going to have to make sure we don't see any more incidents with the blue flags in this season so far. O'Reilly, 3 seconds he's got over Lee Crowther, who's not letting him go very easily. He's still there to try and apply some of the pressure, but I am sure O'Reilly's very much in a cruise control mode at the moment, as now that there was McCulloch getting out of the way of your leaders. Dean Hanley still sits in 3rd position as we don't have very long to go. It's now Connor. He's now trying to put the move back onto Sean North, so he's found a little bit more pace here, and he's really applying this pressure onto the back of North. Can he get himself back ahead? This will be a huge moment for himself here, because North, coming into this round, was just in the side of the top 10. He was in position number 8, only a few points above the top 10 cut line, and for that, this will be a pivotal round for himself, because he can really get a good handful of points here if he's able to hold on to 10th position ahead of Connor. But Connor looks very racy at the moment. He knows he's got pace to get himself back ahead of North, because North hasn't been able to stick with Cosmarakis. That gap has gone from 1.5 to now 2 seconds. So the pace is not there at the moment for Sean North, and it is showing that with Connor's ability to try and drive up to the back of him and apply tons of pressure, and I think that might equivalent into a possible mistake, as that's huge amount of curb there from Jay Connor, and really up onto two wheel. Apart from the rollover, I don't think we've seen that much airtime at the moment from any of the cars using that much curbing there, and so that was a massive could have been a massive moment for the racing there, and I'm sure that definitely got the heart rate modded up just a little bit there for Jay Connor in his Camaro. And he would be taking note of that. Not that much curb next time round, because that was nearly disastrous for himself there. So he's going to have another think about where he can go in this battling and see how that one plays out. And another one that is really kicking off at the moment is between Clerk and Simons, because those two haven't really been able to stop. It's still half a second between the two of them. Ezra is not letting Dion go at all in this one, so keep an eye on the timings between Clerk and Simons. It came to blows in the last race between those two on the last couple of laps, and that's exactly where we're at now, because O'Reilly's just crossed the start-finish line to start the penultimate lap, and that was a big moment there from Sean North. He got the thing outside. I just had to clamp the brakes on to get the thing to start pointing straight again. We saw the tyre smoke as that happened, and that's now allowed Connor to go back on through, back up into position number 10, and now North only has 2 laps to get himself back inside of the top 10 in this second race here, before we get ready for the finale, the feature race here in Perth. It's going to be a huge 50 laps of racing, and these guys are going at it like hammer and tong at the moment, and it is going to be a huge final laps for these guys here in 10th and 11th for these two, and it looks like Connor might just have the better of Sean North at the moment. He's driving away. He's been able to pull about 0.6 of a second on him, but for Zach O'Reilly, he's now starting the final lap of the race, and look at the gap he's been able to pull away ahead of Lee Crowther. That is a huge gap. It was only 3 seconds last time we checked in. It's now nearly 5 seconds, and there is the gap for your top 3 as Dean Hanley comes on 3 now as well. He's just lapped Hayden Cook there in his Camaro as well. But for O'Reilly, what a drive it's been so far. The pole position in qualifying, the race 1 win just a moment ago, and he has been commanding race number 2 here tonight at Motormall Raceway, and it has been quite the drive from himself. I think it was only about lap 5 who was saying that he was getting himself up into the lead or in the top 3. He carved his way through insanely quickly, and because of that, he's going to take the cake here in race number 2. The clean sweeps continue. It's the Zach O'Reilly show at the moment here in the MSR Championship. He will take the win here for race number 2. What a drive for himself. Crowther will cross the line in second. Hanley will take third position here, as that was Hayden Cook going for a spin in the background, so he's going to have to gather that thing back up across the pit lane here, and to get himself over the start finish line and get himself registered as 12th position here in this race. Dion Clerk will cross the line, holding off Ezra Simons in the end. For position number 5, Simons will cross the line in 6th. Adam Betts, a race to forget for himself, had every opportunity in the end. I think it was just a case of choosing the wrong tyres. Doesn't go any better than position number 7. Johnson, Cosmarakis in 9th, and then 10th goes to Connor, and Sean North will round out the field here in position number 11 ahead of Hayden Cook, Wesley Harriott, Mason Kurtz, and Luke McCulloch. Sorben is your non-finisher here in this one. So what a day of racing so far here, but race number 2 goes to Zach O'Reilly, and a very much deserved slidies at the moment aboard his accelerated driver training Camaro. And so, can he make it? How many race wins has he got now in a row? Can he make it 6 race wins in a row? Sorry, 7 race wins in a row for Zach O'Reilly. We're going to be finding out in a very short minute, because we're going to go for another quick ad break while we get ourselves ready for the feature. We got 50 laps of racing coming up very shortly here at Motormall Raceway in Barbagallo, Perth. It is going to be an intense final lap, and pit stop strategy will be a talking point. Do not go anywhere.
And expertise in getting the best gear. Sensational TV has proudly partnered up with Speed Nation. It is New Zealand's go-to destination for high-performance sim gear. They also stock the best and biggest brands in the game, from Thrustmaster, Moser Racing, Next Level Racing, Sparko, Turtle Beach, and more. And whether you're looking for the ultra-responsive racing wheels or pro-grade flight controls, immersive audio, or rock-solid cockpits, I'll tell you what, Speed Nation has got it all. They also carry other trusted names like Butt Kicker, PT Actuators, Wheel Stand Pros, Gen Ace, Spectrum in the remote control field, and also Collective Mind. So every step and part of your setup is covered, from complete racing rigs and premium flight packs. We here at Sensational TV, back in Speed Nation, to deliver the gear that takes your experience to the next level. Fast shipping, trusted brands, unbeatable quality, and I'll tell you what, Speed Nation has it all. And as an excellent gift for all of our viewers tonight and members out there of Sensational TV, and if you're trying to get into racing, go to the checkout, buy some stuff off Speed Nation, because if you buy any full-price product on the website, enter the code SIMSATIONAL, that is SIMSATIONAL. Oh my God, I can't even speak. And you will get a 10% discount off your end cart price. So go in there.
10%? 10% did you say, Zachary?
I did say 10%, mate. I did not say 5. I did not say 4. I said 10.
Wow.
Well, I hope you're locked and loaded because based off race number 1 and race number 2, we are in for a treat as we get ourselves prepped here for the 50 lapper. It's the feature race here for this next one, and it is a top 10 reverse for this one as well. Top 12 reverse for this one as well. So let's get ourselves ready for this one and run ourselves through the grid here. So Hayden Cook will be off the pole position here for your feature, and he'll be followed by Sean North off of the front row. Jay Connor in position number 3. Bill Kosmarakis in position 4. He'll be looking for a better one here. He got involved in the rollover with Sean North, and Wesley Harriott in the start of the last one. Dean Johnson in position number 5. Adam Betts, he's got good prime position here to try and make amends of the last race. He's got plenty of gap between his championship rivals to get himself some good positions here. Ezra Simons in position number 7 alongside, so far, race 1 and 2, battling companions, Dion Clerk. Jason McFadden in 9th, Dean Hanley in position number 10 to round out the top 10. Lee Crowther and Zach O'Reilly, these two Titans will be going at it once again from position 11 and 12. Wesley Harriott and Mason Kurtz will round out the 14 drivers to take on the 50 lappers. Unfortunately, we've had a few drivers have to pull out of this one due to technical issues with the sim rigs, but we have still got a star-studded lineup here, mixed tyre compounds. There is going to be all to happen here for the finale. 50 laps at Wanneroo Raceway, and we're a go here. And it's Hayden Cook with a brilliant racing start here, and it's going to be 3 wide in the background. How's that one going to play out between all these drivers? And it is on between all of them. Adam Betts is already looking to try and get himself up into P number 1. He's up into position number 2 though, and he'll look to try and get to the back of Sean North. What a start from position number 6 on the road, and it is a lightning start, and there he goes. He's already all over the back of Sean North to get himself up into a really good position here, and he will go to the inside at the bowl, and look at the speed that he's got over Sean North. There's contact at the mid-corner. North nearly goes off the road. In the background, here comes Dean Handley. Look at the pace that he's got on board his machine as well, and these drivers are going at it like there is no tomorrow. Hayden Cook is involved in this one too. 3 drivers going into the braking zone, also close. Will it go safely? No. There goes Connor off into the background. He's off into the gravel trap at the final corner, so he's going to go all the way to the back of the final car in this field at the moment. Dean Handley is already onto the back of Adam Betts. He'll be wanting to try and get himself into the lead of this race as quickly as possible, because unlike in the last race, Crowther and O'Reilly haven't made as quick progress through the field as possible, but they're still up some 6 positions from where they started just off the first lap. And here they go, carving their way through the field once again. O'Reilly's through in Kosmarakis. Here comes Lee Crowther. He'll probably make the dive down the inside of turn number 6 here, just to show how much braking pressure that he can put through the pedals. There he goes, down the inside of Kosmarakis. Bob's your uncle, and up into 7th position. And in the background now, that run from Kosmarakis means that Kurtz and Ezra Simons are both going to be looking to try and make their way on through, but Kurtz has got bigger issues. He's got Jason McFadden right there to try and take away the pickings as well. Kosmarakis will hang it around the outside of Simons and keep that position. Kurtz can't get the move done on McFadden there, and so that means that Johnson's going to be able to go on through and try and take that position away, but Kurtz does the dive back down to the inside, can't get the move done, but that was a very strong move that could have been won there for Kurtz if he was just a tad later on the brakes, and he'll think about trying to improve that one later on in the race if he needs to pull it out of his armory. But for McFadden, he's now hanging it around the outside of Simons, who gets it all sideways and nearly slides it into the side of him. Has to take to the dirt though, and that means that he's now going to be vulnerable to Mason Kurtz, who dives it down the inside of not only Dean Johnson, but also Ezra Simons. And we're on board with McFadden. He's made a mistake at the bowl here. Now Kurtz has got a good run on McFadden. Will he also make the move down the inside here at the final corner? He's looking for it, but he doesn't have the braking pressure to be able to get that one done. McFadden though still leaves the gap there for him to try and get that one done, and it is going to be a big case here of how well these drivers can go racing. Kurtz goes defensive into turn number 1. Ezra Simons was looking to try and go for it. He tried to go for the switchback, wasn't able to get that one done, and so you have to think about another place to try and get it done. But for Zach O'Reilly, carving his way through the field as if he is a butcher at the moment with the meat stick, and he is now up into 3rd position as easy as that. And where did he start? 12th position And he's already up to third by lap 4. What a drive he's doing at the moment. And setting the timings alight as well. 2 purple sectors so far in this lap alone. And I think he is really going to be a driver to beat here tonight. He is putting down the lap times, and Lee Crowther is also getting himself now through the field side by side with North. North has to take to that really awkward exit curve there that just unsettles the car and just really limits how much throttle you're able to put down there. The car will light up into wheel spin, and it's never very fun to drive when it's all like that. But here we go, because Adam Betts has got the pressure being applied big time by Dean Handley, who will be begging for another race win. He hasn't had it since Simmons Plains, and he'll be wanting for the top step of the podium. Neither of these drivers have won since Simmons Plains, because it's been the O'Reilly show, and now they'll be really looking to try and get this one done. They can see the white Camaro coming up behind them in the mirrors, and so it is go time now for Handley if he wants to get this race lead. And I think Betts knows that as well, because he goes defensive, but he's run it deep into the final corner, and that's going to allow Handley to go straight on through. Though Betts has a really good run using all the extra curbing, and he will hold on around the outside at turn number 1. Handley goes on 3 though. Zach O'Reilly sets the fastest lap of the race and is now already onto the back of your top 3. But Handley is your new race leader. Dion Clark has also just been able to get by Hayden Cook, who makes a huge mistake, grabs a little bit of the grass there on the entry, nearly throws it off the road at turn number 4, and that means that his opportunity to try and fight back against Clark there has gone running away, and it is not over yet out in front, because it is only a 1/10 of a second separating these 2 drivers. Don't go battling too hard, boys, because O'Reilly will be there to try and grab you both. And now Handley has to go defensive. McFadden is off the road, and around the outside, just like that, it goes Adam Betts. And it is a 3-way battle at the moment for your race leaders. It is going to be a huge battle at the moment, and there is a touch in between the 2 of them, and they'll go side by side, riding on board with O'Reilly. This can end terribly between these 2 drivers. They're trying to give each other as much room as possible. They're battling away, going through turn number 4. O'Reilly's thinking about where he can try and get the both of them here, because he doesn't want to get caught up battling. And look at the run that he's got just by not having to go side by side through the previous corner. He'll look to the inside here at the bowl. He's just got a nose in there. Handley gives him the space, and now runs side by side on the exit. The 2 Camaros now trying to chase down the Mustang here of Adam Betts, that's leading the way, and now has got half a second over his fellow championship competitor at the moment. Down the inside goes O'Reilly. Will he get the position done? Yes, he can. We can see Handley in the background there, and so O'Reilly now dispatches Handley up into second, and he can focus on trying to get the race lead, as the battle here in the background was really kicking off. It's Crowther versus Cook, Cook versus North. It is all going off, and for these drivers here trying to battle inside the top 5, and there is contact there from Hayden Cook onto the back of Lee Crowther, and that has sent Crowther spinning, and they've both come to a stop, because Cook is immediately going to readdress, but that means they're both going to lose a ton of positions here. In fact, they're both going to fall down outside of your top 10. Crowther just inside the top 10. Hayden Cook will miss out on the top 10 opportunity here, so that was really one that went missing, and because of that now, Ezra Simons has now got quite the train lining up behind him. He's got Johnson, Connor, Crowther, Cook, McFadden, all right there in amongst it, trying to get themselves up into position number 7, because he's got 3.5 seconds as now Crowther just about goes off the road, and will in fact lose that position to Hayden Cook. We saw him in the background of the shot, just about send it off. It was really deep and had the thing looked like all crossed up in the meantime as well, so it was a big mistake there, and has cost him an opportunity for the top 10 here, and Hayden Cook will take that one. He let the readdress happen after the contact just a lap ago here at turn number 1, but this time around he's not going to let and sit back and wait for that one. He knows that was a pure mistake from Lee Crowther, and it's just gone on through. But here we go, because O'Reilly's really caught his way onto the back now of Betts, and it is going to be 2.5 tenths as they come down the back straightaway. A little bit of slipstream is going to be involved into this one as well. No dives down the inside, and it is going to be a case of who's got the best exit here, and that will go to O'Reilly. You can see him really closing up. Betts is already going defensive, and he swerves back again as well. Could that be considered multiple racing maneuvers in the defending area of the braking zone? Because that was a little bit dicey. O'Reilly was really really looking to try and find a way on through. He couldn't find his way on through. Betts was good at the defense, maybe a little too good, and now he will continue to lead the way, but that Camaro, is hounding the back of the Mustang of Adam Betts. He'll go defensive once again here in the bowl. All this defensive driving is only doing one thing. It's allowing Hanley to come on through, but O'Reilly's going to play him like a fiddle and do the classic up and under on him. He went defensive, overshot the corner just slightly. O'Reilly saw it coming from 1,000 miles away, braked early, has now got himself ahead, but there was contact in the braking zone. And how did O'Reilly hold on to that thing? He had that crossed up like a knot going into the braking zone and has managed to hold on to it, and now that means that Hanley can have a look here at Adam Betts because he's gone wide into turn number 1. They'll continue to go side by side here, going through this complex of corners. It is balls to the wall racing at the moment between your race leaders, and Betts is on a huge slide. He's on a huge slide and he's gone. Betts is gone. He is off the road and he has dropped so far back now. He's still in 3rd position, but he's some 2 seconds away from your top 2 now. That was a huge mistake. We could just see it. He was on the power slide going through turn number 4, and unfortunately that has resulted in a huge loss of position as well now, as it does click over the 2 seconds between himself and Dean Hanley. And so this is now how your top 3 looks. They were battling so hard for the first 11 laps, and that is the spread now between your drivers in the top 3. It was balls to the wall action, and it's taken 12 laps for O'Reilly to find his way to the helm of the field once more in this series. And for Crowther, he's running side by side now down into the braking zone with Hayden Cook, and he looks to the inside, gets the move done. Cook was a little bit wide, nearly drilled the rear end there of Ezra Simons. He was that deep into the braking zone, as now Cosmarakis comes into the pit lane for his compulsory pit stop here. We've seen issues in the past for Cosmarakis. Once he goes into the pit lane, he can't get back out. And will this be a case of that once again? Here he is. Nah, he's been able to find his way back out. So he's fixed the issues and he's back onto the racing circuit in the hunt as well. He's onto the super soft tyres. He's switched over to them as early as you want, and that is going to give him prime opportunity, as Wesley Harry unfortunately has now DNF'd from this race as well. And so he won't be scoring any points this time around. And so it is going to be a case of what ifs for himself. But for Ezra Simons, he's previously had Dion Clerk all up in his mirrors. This time he's now got the Mustang of Lee Crowther looking to fly his way on through. Down the inside he'll go, and Lee Crowther will take that one, but it's not done with yet. They're running side by side. They're barging each other down the main straightaway, and now coming away into turn number 1. It's going to be a case of the late breaking game, and it is going to be in the hands of Lee Crowther, but he had to be careful there for Simons because he couldn't hang out around the outside, or else Hayden Cook would be right there to take it away and enter the chat. Jason McFadden, he's entering his way into this battle now. Make it 4 cars battling it out here for position number 8, but as quickly as you thought, Lee Crowther is now starting to drive away from this battle pack just a little bit. He's got half a second on hand compared to the other guys in behind. McFadden's super close now to the back of Hayden Cook, in fact sending the dive bomb down into the bowl. But does Cook have the power on the exit to try and get the move back done on his fellow driver here? And he'll look with the slipstream here aboard the Simlabs car, and he'll have the slipstream. Does he send the dive down into the final corner? No, he thinks better of it. He'll sit back for now and just hold on to this position. As now Dean Johnson, he's off the road. There he is. He's had an issue, and now he pulls it into the pit lane. So Dean Johnson's had quite the man in the final corner there, and has lost a ton of positions as now he pulls it into the pit lane for his compulsory pit stop. Wow, what a complex of corners, and it's not done with yet, because here is Jason McFadden now all over the back of Ezra Simons. So he's only got a little bit of time to find. Lee Crowther has also been able to find a heap of pace at the moment as well. He's driven away from the battle pack he was just in, and has now got himself onto the back of Jay Connor. So he'll be looking to try and make a move as quickly as possible here. And for McFadden, super soft versus the soft compound tyres. And remember, based what I said in one of the previous races, these tyres do have a drop-off point, and it's around lap 25. So these drivers don't have very long to go until these super softs will start feeling like they're driving on ice. And so they'll be looking to try and extend past the half race distance to use as much of the super softs as possible. But eventually they're going to have to make the move stick, as now Connor is still trying to hold on to this position. He's hanging out around the outside of Lee Crowther, who's sent it down his inside. They still continue to run side by side, these two drivers, and down the inside he tried to show the nose, did Jay Connor, but it was just not able to get done that time around. And it is going to be a case of holding on to position number 7 for as long as he can now. But for Connor, he's got a very quick McFadden who's charging his way through the field right on behind, and that is going to be a huge moment. But McFadden's had a moment himself and now falls back away from that one, as in the background it's now Cook versus Simons going at it. They're side by side down the back straightaway here into the final corner. Hayden Cook on the inside there. Ezra will have to hang around the outside and tries to go for the switchback, and actually Ezra's got a really good run here, and there's contact on the exit of the corner, and Ezra has gone off the road into the grass, and he's going to have to rejoin the circuit as Jay Connor pulls it into the pit lane for his compulsory pit stop. So he's also in the lane here. Is Jay Connor. He will lose out to Cosmarakis, and so Cosmarakis has gone on 3 into position number 10. He's the leader of the guys who have come in to the pit lane so far. So keep an eye on Cosmarakis's progress at the moment through the field. This will be a telling story of what the undercut is like, because he will be on one to see how this one goes. And if we just filter on through, we can see not only the progress of these drivers, up 11 spots for Zach O'Reilly at the moment, but we can see, in fact, Cosmarakis is being listed as 2 pit stops so far in position number 10, and so he'll be leading the way of the pit stoppers at the moment in 10th position. So keep an eye on that one, and you can see how many laps they have done so far on their tyres as well. Cosmarakis on 4-lap-old tyres, everyone else up into 16-lap tyres, and so keep an eye on that one going at the moment as we continue on in this race. That will be one to go about here. Zach O'Reilly, though, leading the way still, and that is going to be a telling story of this championship so far. It is going to be, can anyone beat this driver at the moment? Race 1, Race 2 win, and the pole position at Hidden Valley. Race 1, Race 2 win, and the pole position at Townsville. So far, Race 1, Race 2, and the pole position here at Wanneroo Raceway. And he is leading the way in the final one. Mason Kurtz, though, has now just been listed as a non-finisher here in this final race as well. So, very unfortunate for himself. And Zach O'Reilly just driving away from the field as well. So, keep an eye on how that one plays out. But Lee Crowther, he had plenty of pace, and he's been able to get his way through the field quite nicely, up into position number 6. But now, Jason McFadden, despite the mistakes that we have seen so far in this round of racing, he's been backwards a couple of times in this one. He's been off a few times, most notably at this corner right here, the turn 6, the bowl. And he will be looking for amends here in this final one, and is proving to do so as well so far, up into position number 7, and really looking to catch up to the back of Lee Crowther as we ride on board, looking over his rear wing, seeing where McFadden is stronger or even possibly weaker than Lee Crowther at the minute. And it looks like it's the mid corner that is holding up McFadden at the minute. He's really good on the entry, really good on the exits, but the car looks slightly unstable as he goes through the mid corner. You can see him, he's really able to push the car, and then it just washes out wide just a little bit. Crowther able to take a much more narrow, much more precise racing line through the first corner, but now this time it's Lee Crowther with a little bit of a wobble. So the tides are changing at the moment for Lee Crowther and Jason McFadden. We saw that because the gap has gone from 0.8 of a second now down to only half a second, so it was a big swing of lap time there in favour of McFadden as they come around and to round out this lap here. So these two will be going at it in a short while, and is either going to take a mistake from Lee Crowther or the pace from McFadden will just bring him to the back of the rear wing of this Ford Mustang. Keep an eye on this one. You can see him using all the curbing available, so much to the point that McFadden's car is sparking on the corner exit there at the final one. So that will be something to really keep an eye on, as now Cosmarakis is really applying the pressure to the back of Ezra Simons, and he will be looking to go down the inside up into position number 9, using those fresher tyres to great advantage, and he goes on 3 now, up into 9th. Ezra drops down to 10th. And that was a very, very decisive move there from Cosmarakis up into that one. McFadden still unable to get all the way to the back of Crowther, close enough to make a move here. on the Birdman, and it's 0.6 of a second at the moment between those two. The gap between the leaders is now extended out to 5 seconds, so O'Reilly is still finding the pace at the moment. Between that is now Lee Crowther has popped it into the pit lane here, so he's coming in for his pit stop on board his Ford Mustang as he goes on 3 into the pit lane. No speeding here, drop it down and get the thing stopped, and he'll be looking for a nice quick stop here. And Cosmorakis goes on 3. He's been out for quite a while since doing his pit stop, so he goes on 3 now to position number 8 as Crowther falls on through. But the tie advantage now goes to Lee Crowther with those super softs. So keep an eye on how this one plays out for your Birdman. He's currently inside the top 10 still. He's lost a lap actually now to Zach O'Reilly, so he's fallen down probably a little bit further than he would have liked for Lee here, now going down a lap, because Zach O'Reilly, your race leader, we saw him just in the shot there before, go on through, and then Dean Hanley now will be looking to try and get himself as well a little bit closer to Zach O'Reilly and see if he can't use the pit stop window to an advantage to try and go for an undercut or an overcut here on the race leader and now championship leader as well for O'Reilly. So let's have a wait and see of how that plays out between those two. Adam Betts is still in 3rd position here. He hasn't been able to recover. He had that giant mistake, and that probably just cooked up the tyres a little bit more than he would have liked in that battle, and he has fallen also 5 seconds, so it's 15 seconds separating your top 3 at the moment here at Wanneroo Raceway. Dion Clerk sitting quite nicely in that 4th position. He's 4 seconds behind and is looking very comfortable in his Toyota Supra. Sean North sits in 5th position, so this is quite a turn of events, considering he was upside down at the start of the last race, had that rollover that we saw, and now in 5th position. So what a turn of events for himself. Jason McFadden in 6th position was looking to really battle it out, and he's so far the only driver that I can say that I've noticed has really been smashing that curb that consistently and causing the sparks to go flying, and he will currently sit in that 6th position, so it is really on for himself. Hayden Cook in 7th position, he's some 3 seconds behind of McFadden. Cosmorakis in 8th position, and he is in that Shell V-Power Mustang, the leader of the pit stoppers so far in 8th, and is looking to really hunt down Hayden Cook there on his much fresher tyres. But has he also stopped a bit too early for these super soft tyres? Because we were told 25 laps is about the cutoff for the super soft tyres. They will go longer, but you've got to be stupidly precise with your inputs to keep the grip sitting right there as we're just about to actually get ready to think about crossing the start finish line, because your race leader is just exiting the bowl now and is about to lap Ezra Simons, and they'll be in the background now. So they're about to start lap 25 are your race leaders. So this is about the doomsday for that super soft tyre. Ezra Simons in position number 9, and he now pulls it into the pit lane as well. So that's good news for your leader of O'Reilly. I mean, he won't have to focus on trying to make his way on through, because Simons has done the job for him by pulling it into the pit lane. So he will try and make this a nice quick stop for Ezra here, and he will pull it out in a short moment time here and get himself out. So Cosmorakis and Crowther have both gone on through here, and he will now exit the pit lane behind Dion Clerk currently sits in 4th position, so he's slotting in between Clerk and Sean North at the minute. So pretty good clean air at the moment for Ezra to try and make some moves here. Jay Connor in position number 11 and Dean Johnson, the last year runners, because unfortunately we've lost Mason Kurtz and Wesley Harriet. We've lost a couple of other drivers throughout the races due to hardware issues. So they're dropping like flies at the moment here tonight. It's really proving to be a race of attrition is Barbagallo Raceway, as we're now onto lap 26. So we're now going into what is known as puncture territory for these tyres. The cars will be feeling like they're all over the shop for the minute, and it will be something to keep an eye out about. But now the first of your top 3 is into the lane. Here is Adam Betts in the pit lane. So he was about 18 seconds away from Zach O'Reilly. He'll lose out on his podium positions because Dion Clerk will go on through and keep that one. Sean North from position number 5 will also come into the lane here. So some of your leaders are now coming in, and it's Adam Betts on the soft compound tyre here. So he is going to try and go for a little bit of a longer one. But what I feel like O'Reilly and Handley will be doing is trying to stay out for as long as possible. Stay out until the car is just about undrivable on those super soft tires, and make the stint on your soft compound tire as little as possible, as the Sean North at the moment has come out directly in the traffic of Bill Kosmarakis. So this is a battle for the ages between these two. Kosmarakis knows that North will have the superior tires at the moment with how fresh they are, but also Kosmarakis on the super softs, he'll have the superior grip until they can reach that 25 lap mark. So this will be a fascinating battle between these two drivers, and for North doesn't quite keep the position ahead of Kosmarakis, who now has that Mustang right in behind him to apply a bit of pressure. And Kosmarakis has also been climbing onto the back of Hayden Cook. The gap between him and Hayden Cook is now only 1 second between those two drivers, and Hayden Cook would not be liking that because he's still yet to come in for his compulsory stop as well. So keep an eye on that one. And look at Sean North climbing it all over the curbing there. That is not ideally the fastest way to go about that. You can see all the lockup marks as well going into the braking zone of turn number 1, and Kosmarakis is reeling in Hayden Cook at a great rate of knots now, because look at that, it's less than a second between these two drivers. Hayden Cook will be seeing that red Ford Mustang come up behind him at a great rate of knots, and will be looking to get this one done as soon as possible, Will Kosmarakis. So keep an eye on this battle. It is going to be one for the ages if he is being halted by a car that is still yet to come in for that compulsory stop. Out in front though, O'Reilly and Hanley, 7.5 seconds between these two drivers. It is being going off between those two. They're setting the timings alight at the minute, and they will continue to do so for some time. But for Hayden Cook, it is now at less than half a second between these two drivers. He will be looking to make sure he makes this as hard as possible, Bill Kosmarakis, because despite them being on separate strategies, racing another car is racing another car. At the end of the day, their inner racing brains will take over, and they'll like to just battle whoever they can. As now your race leader of Zach O'Reilly is in the pit lane, and Dean Hanley follows them through. So they nearly got 30 laps out of their super soft compound tires. So they definitely extended past the doomsday window there. And it's actually going to be, is that Hanley getting out in front of O'Reilly? No, it's not. Hanley just had the closer pit box though. So O'Reilly will exit the pit lane ahead of everyone else he was battling. So that was a very good pit window stop there for O'Reilly. Hanley will also exit, and they're both gone to the soft compound tires. And has Adam Betts been able to make any inroads? And the answer is no. He is still 7 seconds away from Dean Hanley, but he does have a little bit of temperature in those tires, so you might be able to narrow that down just a little bit. It's now down to 6.5 seconds between those two, so keep an eye on that and see if Adam Betts can use that tyre temperature to an advantage to try and close the gap just a little bit. I fear the gap between those two drivers is already a little bit too big, as now the battling between Hayden Cook and Kosmarakis is getting ever closer. It's 0.2 of a second between these two, and Cook holding up the Shell V-Power Mustang now means that Sean North is flying into this battle as well. He's only 1.2 seconds behind, so watch that Mustang further on in the back shot also creep on closer in. It's now less than a second between Kosmarakis and North, so it is going to be on in a short moment of time between three cars. Cook is going super defensive here against Kosmarakis, making him force him go around the long way into the braking zone. Kosmarakis tries to hang it around the outside. He can't get it done though, and he's going to have to pull it back into the pit lane once again. So this will be pit stop number 3 for Kosmarakis. What is going on in the strategy department for himself? But this does mean that Hayden Cook has now got the pressure building from Sean North, who is only half a second away himself. So that battling has only really helped Sean North here to try and get himself as close to the back of Hayden Cook as possible. And Kosmarakis has done all the work for him, forcing him to go defensive into the final corner, haltering his exit speed, and allows that Mustang to climb ever closer to the back of Cookie here in the ringing up Mustang. Camaro, and he's gone for a huge slide, and he's off the road. Here's Hayden Cook, and he's going to lose the position from North. He's going to lose the position from Crowther. In fact, nearly rejoins into the path of Lee Crowther, and so that came to boiling point there for Hayden Cook. The chef has overdone it, ladies and gentlemen, and he is down to 7th position now, and that means North will gain that top 5 spot away. So once again, from early in the race, from being upside down last time around in the last race, now into a top 5 position, but he's got Lee Crowther right on the back now for good company. Hayden Cook has taken the opportunity now to pull it into the pit lane and swap out those tyres and get himself a bit of fresh rubber now to go to the end of the race. So he's boxing on lap 32 here. Lee Crowther's got a huge run on Sean North. Will send it down the inside as they go into the bowl here, and he's going to get that one done. You can see in the mirror there, that is Sean North, and he has lost out as they exit turn number 6 onto the back straightaway. Lee Crowther's up in the position number 5, and we'll be looking to just drive away, as well. It looks like we're having a little bit of internet issues here, ladies and gentlemen, and getting into the server. So ignore any flying cars here. It's not quite Back to the Future yet in this series, but Lee Crowther, position number 5, fantastic drive from himself, carved his way through the field to get himself a solid positioning here for this one, but he has to hold on to it. There's still plenty of racing to go. There is still some 19 laps left to run on this one, and now that most of the pit window has just about finished, how does the field stack up? So you've got Zach O'Reilly leading the way here into turn number 1, and this is how the field spreads out. It is Zach O'Reilly, then it will be Dean Hanley in position number 2 as he comes on 3. He's 7 seconds behind. There he goes, through he goes, Dean Hanley. Adam Betts is another 4 seconds away. There he goes, there is Adam Betts in the Mustang. Dion Clerk will be the next car for position to come on through, so watch out for the Speed Nation Toyota Supra to come through your shot at the minute, and there he is right on cue. Lee Crowther will be the next car for position, so look out for the bright Aldinga flooring Ford Mustang. You won't be able to miss it. There it is. And then it will be Sean North. There he is. And then Jason McFadden will be a little bit more behind. He's 12 seconds away. So keep an eye out for the the Simblax car to come on through here in the Camaro. There it is. The bright yellow machine. Can't miss it. Bill Cosmarakis will be next. There he is. Then Hayden Cook will be a little bit further behind as your race leader comes on through once again. So, and there is Hayden Cook. And there was also another driver as well. Ezra Simons will be the next one to go through. He will be the bright white car to go on through. There he is. I'm running a little bit wide actually going into turn number 1. And then it will be Jay Connor to come on through. He is in the Erebus inspired livery on his Camaro, and so he'll be the next guy on through. There goes Dion Clerk. That's position number 4. There is Jay Connor, and Dean Johnson will be the next one to go on through for position, but he's 32 seconds behind, so he's got a little bit of time to find if he wants to get himself up into position number 11, but with only a few laps to go, that is going to be a very tall order, but he does have the advantage of the super soft tire, does Dean Johnson. So let's keep an eye on the progress of him, and there he is in the front of the shot here. So this is not going to be what Dean Hanley wants to see, and it's Dean Johnson really trying to battle it out here with Hayden Cook. So they're not battling it out for position here, but it's just a case of a different tire compound, super soft versus the soft. So that is going to be why those two are battling it out, despite not being a exact on-track position, and Dean Hanley would not be loving to see that. Directly in front of him, so, and there we go, Dean Johnson actually getting out of the way, so seeing what is happening right behind him as well. And then Bill Cosmarakis is looking as well to try and get himself to the back of Jason McFadden. He's got the tyre advantage at the moment over McFadden. It's super soft versus the soft compound tyre. So in theory, Cosmarakis should be able to just drive to the front here, or drive to the back, sorry, of Jason McFadden and get this one done and dusted in no time. And while we've been talking about it, it's already been a 0.2 of a second gain that he's had over McFadden. So he's got the target set right in front of him, and he'll be trying to get the Shell V-Power Mustang to the back of the Simblax car. And there was a little wiggle there going through turn number 5 before McFadden really threw it off the road there. He did catch the grass a little bit on the exit of 5, and so that would have hampered his speed going into turn number 6, and you can see that exactly happening, because what was a 1.2 second lead over Cosmarakis is now turned into only 0.4 of a second. So that was a huge moment for McFadden, and it cost him so much lap time that this, what could have been in about 5 laps time of a battle, is now turning into very much a case of it could be this lap now that we are starting on board with Bill Cosmarakis. As we go through turn number 1 around the outside of the racing line, goes McFadden running a little bit wide, and you can see all the little tiny little steering inputs that he has to put on through. This is a really fascinating view, in fact, from the bonnet of Cosmarakis' car, looking at Jason McFadden, because you can see where the instability is of the car and where all the speed is. And look at the speed Cosmaracas has going through turn number 5. He's got so much overspeed to the point he can send it down the inside and get that one done. McFadden, I don't think, is going to be pushing this one too hard because he knows he's on the less superior tires. And there we go. Cosmaracas will drive away ahead of Jason McFadden and take away position number 7. But look in the background, because here comes your race leader of Zach O'Reilly's. Now Sean North is off the road. He is off the road. He's pulling off of the road at turn number 1. His day is done by the looks of it, and he will relinquish a position number 5. So it's gone terribly for himself. Is it a case of out of fuel, or what is going on there for Sean North? And he is now teleported back to the pits. Day done for Sean North, unfortunately. So he will not be seeing the checkered flag in this one, which means Lee Crowther now takes away that position number 5 here away from Sean North here in this one. So he'll be really looking forward to that change in place there. And he's also on the super soft, so that's one less car that he has to try and get away from as he makes a big mistake there going into turn number 1. We saw the opposite lock climb on through, as now they go on as he's got what is it, 3.5 seconds he has to find to Dion Clark. And you can see there is the Speed Nation Toyota just in front of him. You can just see the Toyota at points of the circuit going over the crest of the hill. There he goes. We'll see him again coming into the braking zone once again, and this will be a very, very big incentive here for Lee Crowther. And we know it's a big incentive because he's already gained about a second actually on Dion Clark this lap alone. So it's been a huge incentive for Crowther to put the throttle to the floor, put it beyond the floor, put it beyond the firewall, whatever works to get that Mustang moving quickly here for himself, to get onto the back of this Speed Nation Toyota and get that position number 4 away. As there's only about 10 laps of racing left to go. Zach O'Reilly, though, has also now eclipsed a 10-second race lead over Dean Handley. So your top 3, O'Reilly, Handley, and Adam Betts. And Betts, look at this. He is reeling in Dean Handley at the moment. It was 7 seconds when they came out the pits, and as the race has gone on, you know, it's only 3.5 seconds talking to actually. Oh, and that was a huge moment from Adam Betts. What is going on? He's found himself in the alternate pit lane. That is a huge mistake for himself. He ran it out wide. He's found himself in the alternate pit lane. What has happened there for himself? And there is a huge amount of damage now to the nose of the car. I was just about to start talking about maybe this is where Adam Betts can have the advantage over himself, as now Cosmaracas, who was reeling in the lap times, has gone for a spin. So that move he just pulled on McFadden has gone disappearing. What is going on? It's all kicked off at the moment here at Wanneroo Raceway. These cars are going all over the shop. They're going into the wrong pit lane and they're going backwards around the circuit. It has kicked off here. Ladies and gentlemen, you can tell they're getting to the end of a feature race because they are putting everything out onto the table. But as I was talking, I'll try and get it out without something interrupting me here. I was talking to a few of the drivers before this race meeting, and they were talking about how the soft tire interacts with these cars and how sometimes it just does not work. And for a couple of these drivers, it just does not work. Talking to Handley after a couple of the rounds, he does not like the soft compound tire. He does not like it at all. We've seen a couple of the races look really promising for himself and sometimes unravel a little bit once he has to throw on those soft compound tires, and maybe he's just gone for a pit stop slightly too early sometimes, and it's meant that's given the other drivers the opportunity to close up to the back. And maybe that's what was happening there with Adam Betts. He was given the opportunity to start closing up to the back of Dean Handley, who was being very open about not liking the soft compound tire, and that could be a contributing factor to this one. As now Dean Johnson's also had an incident. He's dropped off the track at in position number 11 as Crowther goes down the inside, very commanding, and gets himself now up into position number 4. But Dion Clark is not going to let this one go very easily as well. They had to go by Dean Johnson. They're getting out the way of the leaders here, and in the background you can see there is Dion Clark. He's only 0.3 of a second away. He is looking to go down the inside at turn number 1. If he had the braking opportunity, he didn't have the opportunity that time around, so you have to look elsewhere to get this move done if he wants to get on back through into position number 4. He's got the pace to do it, but Crowther, though, on the super softs, would be expected to just drive away, and there it is. As soon as we go back to full throttle, Crowther is out of here, and he is dropping Dion Clerk like a stone, nearly out to a full second already, and there it is. It's a full second now already. So that is a huge moment in this race, a huge moment in the championship as well, because Dion Clerk, unfortunately, is one of those drivers that has slowly dropped outside of the top 10, had a really good run in the first few races, and just hasn't been able to string together the last couple of rounds, and that was a huge mistake there from Lee Crowther. Does that open up the opportunity, though, for Clerk to come on through, because he's going to have a huge head of steam coming down the main straightaway, but he can't use it to advantage, and so that gap that was over a second has now dissipated for Crowther, and it's only half a second once more between himself and Clerk. But is it going to be a case of the moment that full throttle comes into effect, he is gone? Unfortunately for Clerk, that is exactly what's happened. The gap is now back out to a second once more, and he is just, unfortunately, a little bit of a sitting duck there on the soft compound tyres. Can't do too much against the super soft tyres this late into the race as well for himself. So very unfortunate that we can't see this battle continue to play out, but that was such a huge save for Lee Crowther to be able to keep that one pointing straight on the track, as well as Cosmarakis has been able to get himself back by Jason McFadden here for position number 6. And where's McFadden gone? He must have had a huge mistake to allow Cosmarakis through, because you don't just immediately lose 3 seconds after that one. So I would say that there's been a little bit of a mistake there, a little bit of an off-road maybe excursion there for McFadden to drop that far away from the back of Cosmarakis and lose the position as well. And so he'll fall down to position number 7 in this race for McFadden, a driver in position number 6 in the championship. So he's one of the championship hunters here in this series, and this has been a weekend where he's been consistently inside the top 10, but it's been towards the lower end of the top 10. He would want to be able to get himself way more points than what it is, because all the drivers in front of him, Dean Handling, 2nd position, Lee Crowther is currently sitting in 4th. Zach O'Reilly leading the way, and Adam Betts currently sitting in 3rd position. So all the drivers in front of him in the championship are currently in front of him as well in this race. So it's going to be a big deficit that he's going to have now going into the next round when we head to Queensland Raceway in Queensland, Australia. So it is going to be a big one for him to now revert that loss of points for himself. But what is going to be a big one is for Andre Elliott. Can he get himself out back into the simulator before Queensland Raceway to try and resurrect his championship? Because he was 50 points away in the championship, in position number 4. So this has not been, being absent from this round has not been what he wants for his championship. Zach O'Reilly, though, he's only got 5 laps left to run, and he has got a huge gap over Dean Handley. 15 seconds he's been able to extend it to. He has just been on autopilot at the moment, and is en route to go for yet another race win in this series. It'll be a race win number... holy moly. I'm trying to think about how well he's done so far this season. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, race win number 9, I'm going to say it is so far in this series for Zach O'Reilly, as he will continue to lap around here. Dean Handley in position number 2, Adam Betts in your podium position. How is Betts traveling along at the moment? And you can see the deformation there on the bonnet after going for that trip through the alternate pit lane here, and he is now onto the back of, I believe that's Hayden Cook, directly in front of him to try and get around another lapped car here. And so for himself, he is going to be seething, and Hayden Cook gets right out the way here, doing excellent things there with the blue flagging in this series. And he will continue to live for another day here to try and claim a podium if he's able to. So let's see how we go about in this one. 4 laps left to run. It has been a huge night of racing. Ezra Simons has just had a moment as well. He's gone wide at the first corner here. He's lost a lot of lap time here, and he hasn't lost a position, but that was momentum that he was trying to use. The catch to the back of Hayden Cook here, that has now gone out the window. He's now nearly 10 seconds away from the back of the Cookie, and with only 3 laps left to go. in this one. I think it's safe to say that he isn't going to be able to get this one back, and you can see him, he's still trying to clean off the tyres as well. Lock in the rear is going to turn number 6 on the slide going into the corner, so that is going to be not how you want to drive these cars around this Wanneroo Raceway. So it is a result, unfortunately, gone knocking there for Ezra Simons, but still sits pretty comfortably in position number 9. And he's got 28 seconds to Jay Connor in the background, and that was nearly an incident there for Dean Johnson in the background, nearly losing out and putting himself into the alternate pit line like we saw Adam Betts do. But for Ezra Simon, he has now got the likes of Dion Clerk coming up behind him in position number 4, so he'll be looking to try and get himself ahead of this lap car and up into a bit more clean air to round out this one as Zach O'Reilly's just started the penultimate lap of this one, lap 49 of 50. It has been a also dominant race so far tonight in this one for O'Reilly. Handling has been ever consistent as well, getting himself up into position number 2, but I'm sure he'll be wanting to be a bit closer than the 17 seconds, but I just don't think there's been any answers to the pace that O'Reilly has been showing today. Pole position, race 1, race 2, and is on set for race 3 to make it 3 round sweeps in a row. Pretty unheard of in sim racing. So this one will continue out between Ezra Simons and Dion Clerk here. Despite it not being for position, it is going to be also close, and there we go, he backs out of it and lets Dion Clerk go on through in the Toyota, and you can see Lee Crowther just up ahead as well. So for Clerk, that is why that was crucial for him to get on by, because the battle between these two drivers is going to be also close when it comes to the checkered flag. Lee Crowther on the super soft, Clerk on the soft compound tyres, and they will be trying to catch each other at a great rate of knots, because it looks like the pace from Crowther's just kind of slowed up a little bit there, because Clerk has been able to gain by a couple of tenths each lap so far in the last few. So the pace has kind of swung the other way around for Lee Crowther on the super softs compared to Clerk on the softs. But Zach O'Reilly's only got one more corner left to navigate here, and then he'll be on track to take the 3rd round clean sweep here. You can tell that he knows what kind of situation he's in. He's weaving down the back straight. He's backing off early, and he is going to take the win here in race number 3. He's taken race 1, 2, 3. Make it the three-peat. Make it the three-peat of round sweeps for Zach O'Reilly. What a round he has had, and very much so. Doing doughies at turn number 1. Dean Hanley is going to be the next one to cross the start-finish line. He'll take position number 2 here tonight in the feature race. What a drive from himself. He'll take a podium. Adam Betts will also take a podium here in position number 3. He was on target to try and battle it out for 2nd position, but we will not know how that one would end up playing out. Lee Crowther will hold on to position number 4. Dion Clerk will cross the line in 5th. Then it's Cosmarcus McFadden, Hayden Cook, Ezra Simons will cross the line in position number 9. Jay Connor and Dean Johnson will be the last of the finishers here. But all props to Zach O'Reilly, your race 3 winner. Congratulations, O'Reilly. You're the championship leader now after that one as well. It has been a storming victory and round for himself. Is there anyone that can stop him here in this series? We're yet to find out. And this is going to be a fantastic chat between all of the drivers as we get ourselves ready for that one. It is going to be the Podium Probe coming up next, ladies and gentlemen. Do not go anywhere. We're going to be discussing how the race went, discussing everything about that one. It is going to be a fantastic chat with all of our podium getters. Zach O'Reilly, Dean Hanley, Adam Betts are going to be in the commentary box very, very shortly for a nice chat with us. And in fact, they're already here with us right now. Welcome, gentlemen. It has been quite the evening of racing. Firstly, start off with here, Zach O'Reilly. That is not only the three-peat tonight, but that is also the clean sweep 3 rounds in a row. Pole position, race 1, race 2, Hidden Valley. Pole position, race 1, race 2, Townsville. Now pole position, race 1, 2, and 3 here at Wanneroo Raceway. How are you feeling after that?
A lot better now that you've said that, Pete. I didn't even realise the stats. No, good race, good event tonight. So, yeah, pretty hectic out there just the whole time. It's a slog. You don't get a break at all. So, big night. But, yeah, clean sweep always feels good. Good way to start the weekend off.
Yeah, it's a very tricky and very complex small circuit. It's very busy as well. Dean Hanley, how was that? That was a very consistent night from yourself. You walk away with a P2 to round out the feature race. Just didn't have quite enough there for Zach O'Reilly in the final one.
No, mate, I didn't. But let's be fair, Pete. Did you expect me to?
You know, no, I don't. I never like to doubt you. I never like to doubt you.
I really appreciate it, mate. Had a great night tonight. I think Adam may have made a few mistakes, which made it a little bit easier for me. I was watching the times and I was like, oh. So, no, look, good result tonight. I'm happy with the second, coming in behind Zach, doing it for Zach Accelerated Driver Training.
Too, baby.
Okay. Let's have a talk to Adam Betts. First of all, very consistent weekend from yourself as well. You walk away with a P3 to round out this one. I must say though, how was that trip through the alternate pit lane? I may have happened to be able to ride on board as that happened, and that kind of ended that run to try and get P2. What happened there?
Oh no, was that on the stream?
It was on the stream, caught in 4K, buddy, caught in 4K.
Jeez. Yeah, I don't know. I just came up on that outside curb and bottomed out or something, got spat out and ended up in the other pit lane. Luckily, there was no pit limiter in there. I could go flying through, but was not the line I planned.
Yeah. So you looked like you were really gaining onto the back of Hanley as well in that final one. Do you reckon, despite the mistake, you probably could have had a shot at trying to get P2 in that one?
Oh, I damaged my front end pretty bad with that pit lane incident, so I think it was off after that. But definitely before, I had the pace. I think in race one, I had good pace as well. So yeah, I do think it was on. Just not making mistakes is part of racing, and I didn't have that part of it tonight.
Yep, and speaking of race one as well, we were off watching another battle, and then all of a sudden the timing's lighting up to say O'Reilly's gone on through. What happened there in the first race to switch up the lead of the race right at the end?
Oh, I was coming up on a back marker. It wasn't their fault. It just threw me off that little bit and gave me a snap, and then, round here, so, one snap and you're gone. And that's all it took.
Yeah. I was watching that. Sorry, Pete. I was watching that, and I got held up, I think, about 4 laps, maybe 6 laps earlier, I think, Betsy, as well. The same spot, but different. Same outcome, really. But you're already in front. Annoying.
Yeah, I think we saw that moment there with the Red Bull car parking it on the apex there of turn number 5 before heading down into the bowl. So that was quite the wild moment, and I thought there at that moment that was your run for the race win done and dusted with only, as you said, 5 or 6 laps to go. But Zach, you're now the championship leader heading into Queensland Raceway. Have you got any thoughts about the way you're going to attack the rest of the season, as we've got 1 round now left before we go into enduro mode?
Should be interesting. The paperclip, nice track. As boring as it may be for some people, it's a very technical circuit, especially that middle bit. The middle's the double left-hander going on to the final turn, and even the exit of turn 2. So plenty to race with, and all these boys we're going to have to be on our A game, because it is a challenging circuit nonetheless. So looking forward to it, but we'll see how we go.
Excellent stuff. And Dean, it's no secret that place is one of your favourite tracks. So we are expecting a Dino special coming from the paperclip.
I'm certainly going to have a go, Pete. I've enjoyed racing in this series. I've enjoyed racing tonight. So I tell you what, a bit of QR action, I'll be all over it. And Pete, how was your night tonight? How did you go?
Oh, it was fantastic. The racing was very, very entertaining, and it was absolutely barnstorm of a race of racing tonight. 3 epic races around Wanneroo Raceway, and that is also going to do us here tonight for the podium probe of this round 8 of the Misfits Sim Racing League. So if you did enjoy it, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Never miss another round of the MSR series and any of the other series Sensational TV does. And thank you to Speed Nation, ARD Importing, Simulator Driver Training, Bilko Pack, and Accelerator Driver Training for all the support to the channel as well. And as always, keep it flat out.
Sensational TV YouTube channel. Don't fucking miss it.